What's going on?
Oh, not much. Had a
Yeah.
pretty cruisy start to today.
Yeah, what was that? You want
Um,
to get into it?
oh, no, there's just got a tradesman at my house fixing up a door to the second bedroom, which doesn't shut. Um, so yeah, just was sitting around here sweating, hoping he'd finish up his business before I'd hop on the pod with you. But I think it's
No.
pretty much done. So hopefully there's not too much background noise.
No, you got the good
But
setup. You got is that the Shure? What kind of mic you got?
no, this is the Rode Procaster, I believe, or
Okay, I was looking.
no,
Sorry.
sorry, Rode Pod mic.
Is that, how much was that one?
This is $300, but then I've got
Awesome.
it plugged into a Focusrite, which I think is
Yeah.
about. Oh, this is like 500 Australian dollars, which is
Yeah.
I think like 2 US cents right now.
Yeah. I got the focus right. I thought I got fucking scammed on eBay, man. I thought I bought a Shure. I didn't realize they were all counterfeits and shit. I got like a fake.
Yeah,
Totally like I was like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I totally should have realized that. I thought just because it's from China, or maybe getting direct is cheap. Like,
no, I don't really mess with that stuff at all. I'm really lucky. One of my former bandmates who produces my podcast and everything, he sends me a photo. He's just like, "Hey, I'm buying your podcast setup. It'll be at your house on this day." So
yeah, yours is
really
sweet. When we
lucky
did the
about
round
that.
table, yours was by far the best. You gotta get some.
Yeah, I was proud of that. I was like, oh, good, being
What
invited on this amazing round table. Got the worst physique here, but got the most expensive
no, it
mic
was I
setup.
think GBS had like just the computer mic. You know?
Yeah, didn't even have headphones.
Yeah.
I mean, you and GVS, this is basically like Christmas Day for you guys. I'm not sure when this podcast is going to drop, but sorry,
Oh
yesterday
yeah,
was
yeah, about
Christmas for
Mike,
you
right?
guys.
Well, GBS made a video. I don't know if you saw it. He kind of just posted, but it's like
I'm
I'm getting
10 minutes in.
yeah, I he's one of the only people I watch all of his stuff. Just I love GBS, but it's funny. Like so many people are like tagging me and showing my other videos where I kind of combed through his PhD. I had it sent to me a while ago, and it's just I never I didn't put the amount of effort Solomon put in. He did really good of like breaking it down, but I was like, how can anyone take this fucking dude serious? And I used to get a lot of hate, man, when I first started like going against Mike, just because. Like I don't know why he was so revered, but like it's totally changed now over the last 2 years. When I first started a year and a half ago, like I had so much pushback, and I couldn't see what other people were seeing. I didn't know the thing. Where were you at with Mike? Were you like a big fanboy at one point, or how'd you feel about all the stuff that's going on?
In my early days, I was a big Mike Israetel glazer, but I guess kind of just because I was following along with the rest of the industry, which moving in that evidence-based into the evidence-based era of fitness, which he was a big champion of. It was honestly more his affiliation and I guess like co-authoring of some of Chad Wesley Smith's earlier works, which were like quite foundational knowledge to me. Um, so I guess like a lot of Mike Israetel's heuristics were probably like part of my initial frameworks, and then once I had a chance to question things and develop the confidence to apply my own worldview to the fitness information I was digesting, I started to diverge quite a little bit. Um, and again, just that thing of like, I mean, I think it's pretty easy when you've been in this industry for long enough to get sick of anyone who's getting overglazed. And I feel like Mike is, I don't know if victim is the right word, but he's probably going to experience such a crazy amount of backlash only because there was so much glaze to begin with. I mean, the man likes to glaze himself. If anything, that's probably what I find the most off putting thing about him is more just certain aspects of his personality, just in general. And also just like he's sort of branched out like any of us do when people start to enjoy our opinions on fitness. You're like, oh yeah, well, I've got opinions on lots of things. How about I tell you how I think the whole fucking effing world works? And so it's more his worldview, like the whole
His
AI
philosophy
thing, a lot of his
channel.
views on plus, yeah, just that stuff where I'm like, eh. Um, and trying to not be too much of a bandwagon jumper. I mean, shout out to people such as yourself. You've been Mike Israel deniers from the start. So I'm sort of just a really entertained person sitting to the side. I feel like this is similar to how I saw that you got asked a question about what do you think about functional patterns. You're like, oh, I'll probably ask Angus about this.
Yeah,
I feel like that's sort of the equivalent thing, whereas like they're in my lane sort of thing, like
yeah.
sports performance, strength and conditioning. So I'm like, no, fuck those guys. How can we tolerate this stuff? And I see that with you guys' attitudes towards Mike Israel
Yeah,
and stuff.
with
So
Mike, it's just like first of all, I had people that came to see me that literally said I fucked myself up trying to do the shit that he preaches, and it just you're right. It was the
100%.
arrogance. It was just like the I'm so much smarter and better than anyone in the world. When to me, like I think intelligence is physical too. If you have no physical intelligence, no kinesthetic awareness at all, like I think that's means you're not the most intelligent person in the world either. Like I do think those kind of go together. And I was like, how? I don't know. I was because in my world,
Yeah,
obviously,
his physical literacy is
yeah,
interesting.
exactly. In my world, I'm around physical therapists that have doctorates and are fucking retards all the time. So I've been around them. I'm not like a PhD doesn't make me think, oh, especially in exercise science. But yeah, did you watch the long one that Solomon did?
I watched the long one. Yeah,
What are your
I've
thoughts? I mean, I
been
didn't look
really
at it, but
enjoying.
yeah,
I just love the high school name
he did it really
calling.
well. The parts that I
Bullying
watched.
isn't the right word, but just like different groups taking shots at each other and things like that. So I find Solomon's channel a constant source of entertainment. It ends up being a little bit like. But then again, like if you already don't like Mike
Yeah.
Israetel, that's just like showing up to the
Well, dude,
buffet and
if
like you'll eat till you puke, right?
I was worried I was coming off like that when I first started. So if we were to go back when I first started posting on YouTube, like I bashed the fuck out of Mike because I was just so fucking fed up with him. And I worked with this douchebag who reminded me so much of him. So I kind of took it out on him too.
Yeah.
He was like exactly like him. And then I did like a follow up, and then people were like, I had people that were so that had like a 20% like ratio. It was terrible, like less than that. And I had people that would reach out to me like, look, I agree with you, and I think more people need to know this, but you're going way too hard. You're not gonna like get the people that actually like him to even listen to what you have to say. So it's like, okay. So then I did one
No,
that was
it's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, no. So I did one that was a lot softer, and I tried to like, and I did one on Joel. I was really nice about Joel Seedman because like, I don't want to think I'm an asshole. And then I did one on the RP strength where I kind of did it like, not nearly as aggressive. And then after that, I just went back to being straight aggressive asshole. But yeah, because you don't want, I don't want to be known for that. I try not. I've said recently, people ask me all the time about Mike. I haven't fucking talked about him because I mean, as I said, I think he's losing his shit either like really or he's. I mean, I think he could have a humiliation kind of cuck fetish. I wouldn't be surprised if he was into some kind of thing like that. I mean, posting those fucking surgery pictures and just like saying the kind of shit that you say, putting yourself so out there, it's like, fucking dude, like, come on. Like, are you getting off on this? Like, what the fuck? What do you think? Do you think he's just going Kanye? Do
Yeah.
you think he's getting something out of it?
I just think he has a very strange lifestyle now. Like, I think he's quite
I
successful,
think the
has a
drugs
fair
too,
amount of
man.
money on a lot of performance enhancing or perhaps slightly neurotoxic chemicals and things like that. So, yeah. Yeah, I just think he has a very odd existence. Also, like his background as an immigrant from like
Russia.
communist Russia, and I think because some of his attitudes towards capitalism and stuff like that, I find like quite interesting. But then again, like the more you know about the man's history and where it came from, it sort of makes sense. And I'm a bit more sympathetic to where the worldview comes from because childhood shapes us for better or for worse. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm really hoping that he will address it. I think that's the part that I'll find most entertaining. And I think like what you're saying, Atlas shares this opinion and GVS as well. It's like you want to see more the people in the evidence-based community who typically are quite outraged at people's like maybe flimsy qualifications or just over touting their expertise. Is there going to be sort of any sort of sense of group accountability, or is this just porn for the already existing Mike Israetel haters? That video was so big. I just quickly did a refresh on it again,
It was
and
like
it's up around
600,000.
500,000
Yeah.
views. Because that's
Today.
the thing as well. I mean, maybe you never liked Mike Israetel, but
Yeah.
like since you have sort of been critical of him, he has got so much bigger as well. Like,
Yeah.
so even in the last, I mean, because when did you post your first critical
February of
piece of
last
content
year.
on him? I don't know. So even in that time frame, you know what I mean? He's basically become one of the biggest
Yeah.
and most consistent
That's how he
YouTube
came across
channels
me. Like I don't
based.
follow shit. He just popped up because I just watch PT, like physical therapists and bodybuilders, and somehow he bled over into that. And I was like, who the fuck is this retard like that
Yeah.
everyone's listening to?
No, it's crazy. It's so massive now. Like RPE must be absolutely printing money.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They're too big to fail. That's what a lot of people were saying now. But I am just glad that there's a dialogue now because it seemed to be for a while like people like didn't think that highly of him. A lot of people I know people that did, but they were afraid to speak out because oh, like, does he have some fucking power in the industry, or is he not going to collab with you? It's like, I don't make my fucking money on the internet. I don't give a fuck. I can shit on whoever I want. I
Yeah.
can do whatever the fuck I want, you know? So, like, I think now it's really cool to see. Like, I saw Elle, Scientific Snitch, posted something. I mean, GVS has been shit
She
for a
was
while.
absolutely stoked. Like her and
Yeah,
Mike Israetel don't like each other, right?
yeah,
Do you remember? And it was like Solomon's mentor, Lyle McDonald. Do
yeah.
you remember his original takedown of Brett Contreras' PhD thesis?
No, I don't. That was kind of when I was out of it. Yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah, that one was very satisfying. It was when
I've heard
Brett
Schoenfeld's actually.
Contreras
Did he do
Brett
Schoenfeld's too?
Contreras was probably.
Okay.
I mean, that would be Lyle's thing to
Yeah.
just go through everyone's dissertations with a fine tooth comb. But Brett Contreras was criticizing someone else's research. I'm not sure if it was on another squats versus hip thrust study, but just saying that they didn't have enough subjects to study, and then that invalidated the evidence or the outcomes of the study. But then you look at Brett Contreras' original squats versus hip thrust study, and it was on monozygotic twins, like so like two
Yeah,
subjects.
exactly.
Which obviously, if you're only going to have two subjects, that is as good as it gets. But it's just one of those things of like, I feel like everyone, and this is like a theme in the evidence based community, is like, everyone's like, well, your evidence is dog crap. But then it's like, no, all of our evidence is not great. Like, we have an emerging body of evidence. Like, how long has sports science or exercise science even existed as a field for? Like, yes, the hierarchy of evidence is the gold standard, but it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of people donating their time for an actual good body of evidence to emerge. Whereas I feel like we're so embarrassed about the bro science culture. There's been this overcorrection
Yeah.
sort of
Oh,
thing, and
by
it's like,
far.
over time, yes, we do want to be able to refer back to the data, but it's just not there. And also, just the quality of it. There's good quality in there, but it's messy. It is really messy. Even I've sort of been publicly like pretty loud about my criticisms of sports science, but then I've even
Yeah.
had people with experience in scientific fields outside of sport and exercise science be like, man, like, no, I've worked in pharmaceuticals, I've worked in these other aspects of science, and it's all messier than perhaps. I think we romanticize science. And we want to think about everything as these like extremely tightly
Yeah.
controlled studies, but then obviously that invalidates like what they say, the ecological validity of them, or the practical sort of nature of them. So
I think so
yeah,
many people
it's
like
complex and messy, isn't it?
yeah,
Trying to get to the truth.
so many people have no base to like they just see the extrapolation and they obviously they're not looking at the data, but they have no idea how easy like stats are fucking really easy to fuck with, and like you said, the whole like the exercise science industry as a whole, like that's gonna be a little harder to like do all the variables necessary to do any like really good fucking study to get anything conclusive. I mean that's one of
I
the
just think it's
hardest.
a bad identity. It's a
Yeah.
bad identity to be like staunchly evidence based from like a branding perspective, and then to exist so consistently
Like
on social media. Like, it's not a good marriage, I think.
yeah.
I don't know, because like I said, like I do want people to ultimately to be beholden to some sort of hierarchy of evidence, but then, like I said, as a branding thing is where it sort of starts to irk me. And then that's again like one of the things that led to Mike Israetel sort of leaning on his PhD so much. Whereas if he just did the PhD and then never really threw it
Yeah.
in anyone's face, it sort of wouldn't really blow up like this. But because it's just the nature of things, isn't it?
Dude, I mean, fat people can't jump. That
Yeah, yeah, it was
can't
real
believe that.
water is wet study.
Right?
I mean, I'm experiencing that right now. I took some of after more reflection. I decided to take some of Atlas's criticism to heart, and I've been working on my physique lately. And
Yeah,
I've
I
been
saw
just
you look a little more jacked talking about jumping on some juice. I was joking.
yeah, no, no. So still natty, still too much of a pussy to inject research chemicals into myself, but just taking training and nutrition a little bit more seriously. Really like listening to and applying a lot of GVS's ideas on arm training, which like it's still. How long have I really been pushing this for? Like probably like since we
Yeah,
spoke.
you've definitely looked
And
better.
cheers, man. Cheers. But it's just the timing of it. Like I've got up to about 87, 88 kilos, and I'm just starting to commence some of my, when I say longer runs, like ultimately I'm training for 100-meter and 200-meter races this upcoming Australian track season, but starting to get a little bit shin splinty. So I might do a little bit of a tactical cut, but even getting down to like between 83 to 85 kilos, I think will be a really comfortable running weight. But yeah, shout out to Atlas Power Shrugged. Like I think initially I didn't take the criticism that well. I mean, a lot of people, Atlas wasn't the first people to sort of person to call me out for having a bit of an average rig, but I'd like to think that I just want to get to the point where I can appeal to my own authority rather than
Yeah.
be like, no, well, like, look at the people I train or like, please refer to this study. Not that I'm too much into that, but I would like to be able to just be like,
Yeah,
nah,
just
fucking
don't
look
give
at
me
this.
anything to hate on. Like
Lewis. Yeah.
exactly. Is that going to be your next what you're going to move into? You're going to grift. You're going to be like the jacked, like how you got so jacked. You're going to be like a functional bodybuilder. That'll be your grift now. I'll become
Nah, I
like a
can't
movement
do it.
optimist. I'll be a movement optimist and like learn all the weird like weird flowy movement stuff, and you can just become jacked and start teaching like powerlifting moves to bodybuilders.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sort of already the one who's got powerlifters like jumping around, doing their cardio and things like that. So already a little bit of a some people love me in that space. Some people aren't the biggest fan of me. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
you're
quite a
for the
bit
jack of all trades, right? If you're not trying to be super specified, right?
well, that's it. But I'm lucky enough. Like I have worked with a lot of people with quite specialist goals. But again, for me, everything always sort of goes back to the GPP lens, like dealing with humans first and foremost. So even if you have specific goals, there's usually like pretty general concepts that underpin all aspects of training. At least that's my bias anyway.
Yeah. Have you still been surfing a bunch?
Yeah, been really lucky this year. I did a 3 week road trip around the North Island of New Zealand and just scored some absolutely amazing waves out in the middle of nowhere. Just the sort of stuff that you dream
You said
of.
where in
Uh,
Ireland?
New Zealand,
Is it? Oh,
North
is it?
Island
Oh,
of New
Island. Okay, I
Zealand,
thought you were like, okay, that's
North
awesome.
Island of New Zealand. Sorry,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. That was phenomenal. Like it's just like Lord of the Rings sort of scenery, and
yeah.
then just the
South.
most beautiful untouched waves.
Where would you
Thought
want to
I
go if you could go anywhere for surfing? Is that the
Uh, a lot of South and Central America is on my
El
list.
Salvador?
Also,
Dude, I got a client who just
yeah.
she's got generational wealth. All she fucking does is do whatever the fuck she wants. She picked up surfing like 3 years ago, which kind of sucks, and now she's gone all the time. But she goes like El Salvador. She said that's a big spot. That was one of the ones she said.
Would the El Salvador government have just invested a lot of money into making like these surf cities? So
Oh,
like
okay.
building these new bike tracks, building a lot of outdoor showers and like just like infrastructure to make the surfing experience a little bit nicer. But yeah, sort of honestly, I feel like New Zealand, like I want to explore the South Island this summer because it's very violent, the Southern Ocean. So you kind of don't have to worry about a lack of swell in summer. And there's these offshore trade winds. So it could be a little bit of a hidden gem. I mean, if you had more surfers in your audience, I probably wouldn't even be mentioning this on the show. But I'm really excited to check that out. But honestly, like that, and do you know Bali, like up in
Yeah,
Indonesia,
yeah.
just above Australia? So that
Yeah.
is like there's on the Bukit Peninsula, just right near the airport in Bali. There's just this amazing series of like 4 to 5 waves that are some of the best left-handers in the world. And but the area is changing rapidly. It's like really overrun with tourists, and it is starting to get a little bit hectic there. So I kind of just want to get back to there as much as possible before it just completely goes to shit
How
and
far is that for
becomes
you?
too polluted or
It's
unsurfable.
not too
It's a
far for you?
6 hour flight.
Oh, fuck, that's so
It's
cool.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Which, in Australian terms, considering I can fly 5 hours and barely be out of the country, that's pretty close. And then New Zealand is just like a 3 hour flight. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I do you like what are the big places you can fly to from where you are if you're gonna like travel, go somewhere cool? You have Indonesia that's pretty close. You ever go like are the Asian countries all close? Like
Yes, but I'm not that fond of sex tourism. So honestly, like other than Indonesia, oh, sorry,
you're going
like
for the food.
maybe that's a little bit too crass. But yeah, I feel like that's why, like, if you're not looking to do steroids or engage in sorry, there's
Go see
so many other
GVS.
reasons to go to. No, actually, okay, yes, because I do think I've probably been the victim of consuming too much like anti-China propaganda back in the day and starting to sort of just do you follow Spanion, like the Australian YouTuber?
Uh,
It's
what is
just like
that?
a travel Spanion.
The
He
travel
used to
guy?
be yeah, he used to be a
Okay.
criminal, like convicted criminal, drug dealer sort of
Oh,
thing.
that's cool. I'll check
Got
him
into
out.
rapping. And
We
it
got a
turns
lot
out
in
he just had
common.
a really good personality. So then he just started traveling around making like tourism content and stuff. But he's done a bunch of videos in China, obviously seeing what GEVS's life is like. And yeah, it's not that far away. So I'd love to check out like Shenzhen. And have you seen that like cyberpunk looking city where it's like, I don't know quite how to describe it other than the fact that you'll think you're on the ground level And then you just walk up to a railing and realize that you're like 50 stories in the air.
Oh
And
shit. No, that's wild.
yeah, some really, really interesting looking
People
cities
don't do
over there.
drugs out
So
there that much, right? That'd be like sounds like trippy if you were like some shrooms or something.
yeah, I mean, but I'm sort of used to that. Like Australia's a bit of a nanny state in that regard.
Yeah.
Our drug laws are not super progressive. So
Yeah, not at all. You guys can't even get supplements in there. But you said that you were at a gym and there's a bunch of juice heads, right?
um so the current gym that I train at, I think I've changed gyms that I try. I actually started working in a face-to-face context again since we last
Nice.
spoke. So I'm
That's
doing my training and that face-to-face training out of a different gym and less people training there for pure aesthetic reasons. So I would
yeah.
say drug use is like down a little bit. Having said that, while I was in Bali, it's like a sort of weird intersection between surf culture, fitness culture, and bodybuilding culture over
Yeah.
there in Bali. So that's really, really interesting to witness. I have no idea why you would want to live in Indonesia as a really jacked bodybuilder. Like it's so hot and humid. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fitness hub.
What,
There's people over there doing their hybrid shtick, and I'm like, that sounds heinous. Running around Bali,
yeah.
it's like
Fuck
so
that.
much just like motorbike
Dude,
pollution
dude,
and
that's one of the reasons I moved to Cali from Texas. I wanted to be outside. Is oh my God. Ibiza, they don't have surfing over there. Is there surfing over there?
no, there's great surf in Spain, so especially like Basque country, which I don't fully understand what's happening there. There's this like ethnic minority in Spain that sort of has their own territory,
Oh
but
shit.
there's a lot of really good waves around there, sort of like San Sebastian, which is a regular popular tourist spot, and the part of Spain with the good surf, because I realize Ibiza is like this little island off the coast of there, but the bit of coast that I want to surf in Spain also connects with the like south of France, which has really good surf
Yeah.
as well. So
Dude, that's
that's definitely on the bucket list, but you've got to go there in winter. So like the
yeah.
classic thing as an Australian is escaping winter to go get some like European summer or something like that. So I'd
Yeah.
have to fly away from Aussie summer, which the waves aren't good, but I still enjoy Aussie summer just because the weather's tremendous and a few more parties and things like that. But
What
and
about the
and it's
US?
fucking expensive.
Are we good for surf? I mean, they do the US Open out here.
Great, great. Yeah.
Like in Huntington Beach is
So
right.
that's sort of more prestigious because it's like it's just such a big sort of natural amphitheater. You can get like 100,000 people
Yeah.
down onto the beach to watch it, and it's a good wave, but probably not as consistent as you'd want. Like surfing's a horrible spectator sport in that regard. Like
Yeah.
to try to organize a comp where you can get heaps of people to watch it, and you can kind of guarantee yourself pumping waves. Honestly, outside of like Indonesia and Hawaii at certain times of the year, it's like there's a very short list of places where those things can fully overlap. But no, the USA has amazing waves. And that's a bit of a dream of mine as well to go over to do the US, do a couple of seminars and things like that, and then jet off down to
Yeah, I'm sure you
Mexico
can
and
set that up
have an
soon. I mean,
absolute time.
anytime you want, I'm sure you could hit up a couple of spots you haven't been over. Maybe don't link up with Jeff again.
Yeah, yeah, we hopped on a call about a month ago and sort of set our
You
piece
all
to each
good?
other. So that's all. Yeah, functionally good.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
just
good.
don't really interact with the bloke anymore, but like we've had
That's
our
good. I'm
chance to
sorry. I didn't
say,
mean to start some shit on that.
nah, it's no worries at all. Like
He was
I
cool. I
stand
mean,
by
he
what
didn't
I
he didn't get
said,
mad
but
at me at all. He just got mad at you. I'm sorry.
nah,
At the moment.
it
I
is.
mean, I thought that was a funny fucking story.
I think it's hilarious, but yeah, I mean, people can make up their own minds about it, I guess.
Yeah. So what made you decide to start taking in-person clients again?
Getting sick of coaching people one to one online. Not everyone, but I'm sort of down to like a fucking 3 or 4 person roster as far as
Yeah,
like one to
that's
one
all
online
that's all I
clients.
fucking want. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like that's the sweet spot. Waking up on
Are
a
you talking about in
Monday and
person
just
or online? You're talking about in person.
no, so I mean, in person, I have barely any clients because that sort of just started. I mean, officially, I signed the contract at the gym about like 6 months ago, but I
Oh, so you
kept
only have
putting
three
off
online. Yeah.
trying to push for clients because I kept going away and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this big push to get a lot more
Yeah.
people in person and then just be fucking off every second week. So now that I'm here for a consistent period, I've got a free weightlifting club on Saturdays. So anyone can come to the gym and
Nice.
just enjoy and like learn Olympic lifting, which I'm really, really excited to get more
And you
people
can
into
convert
that,
all them
especially in
to
my
your
local
online
community.
GPP and shit too, huh?
I don't even want it's honestly more of
You
a
know what I'm
passion
talking about?
project. Like I
Yeah.
make enough income from selling my educational
Yeah.
courses and my team training program at the moment. The face-to-face thing really is a passion project because the only other thing I've got a free track club down at the track on Wednesday nights, where again, like anyone who wants to get into a bit of sprinting or high speed running, regardless of ability, can just come in and have a crack. Other than that, I've honestly just been training mostly my parents and my mates' parents,
Yeah.
which has just been so enjoyable. I love training people. I love getting results with everyone. And like yes, like my ego soars anytime I get like an advanced strength athlete, like a 5 kilo PB on squats or something like that. But like just getting my mum more confident picking things up off the ground, or like her what's her arthritis symptoms and like sarcopenia and all that, not having to take as much medication for that, or my dad who's like really struggling to stay engaged with surfing now that he's 72, just like helping him get a
Yeah,
little bit
what'd you have
stronger
him
because
doing? It
my
looked
mom.
awesome. I forgot what it was. You had him doing something on your IG, I think.
A lot of it was just a lot of like full range push up work, like really working on protraction and thoracic flexion. Like
Yeah, it looks
that's just
good.
such a big thing. Oh, dad's very healthy for a
Yeah, that
72 year
looked
old. He's got
great.
like a 45 resting heart rate.
Yeah.
Dad trains 2 times a day, like very cardio based sort of thing, like lifts weights at home. But yeah, dad's an absolute animal. He just needs a little bit more direction, and he needs to be told when to stop.
Yeah.
But ultimately, here's the reason that I got into fitness. Like my whole life, I would just see him come home from a 16-hour workday and just get straight out on the balcony and like hit the bag and
Oh, that's cool.
pump weights on the old Bowflex machine. It's mad. I just remember like looking out. I have so many distinctive memories watching him work out on the balcony, being like, I can't wait till I can get stuck in and to do that.
Yeah, that's cool. My kid likes to like copy me, and I have him do it. Like we'll do shit, but I always like worry I'm gonna like push him into it. He's gonna fucking not want to do it. But yeah, he's into it. I think that's cool because I didn't have anybody
That's what
fucking
you don't
into
even have to
anything.
do though. You just have to do it around him. And I would say that that's like the most attractive thing because your kids are going to pick up on your passion for things, and like they all look up to you, you know what I mean? Especially at a young age. And yeah, so thankful I had a dad who lifted.
I think that's really cool. I wish I could help my grandma. You know, your dad is, I mean, I have a young family. My family has their kids way too young. Your dad's not that much younger than my grandma, and like my grandma is fucking a prisoner in her body. So like that's something that I really wish I was closer to help with. The in-person stuff
Yeah.
is so cool because like I said, it's just you cannot hone your skill set 100% online. This is just it's just impossible to not do it in person, get the different looks. So I think that'll like just step your game up a little bit too. Now that it's already
Man, it's so much more enjoyable,
yeah.
the face-to-face thing. And yeah, especially if you want to go deeper, and like it's just so much easier to guide people through that experience. And like I said, like as much as you can improve the skill of communicating via text or sending more demonstration videos, just your ability to put your hands on something, be like, no, here is exactly where I want you. And like,
Exactly.
do you feel that? Like just touching a muscle, be like, can you feel it here? Those are just things that you just I don't want to say they're irreplaceable. Some people just don't need them.
Well, as I say, some
Um,
people they are irreplaceable. There are some people who really are bad and kinesthetically aware at online stuff, and they'll get what they can get out of it. And then there's some that get almost as much as they would get in person. They're kinesthetically aware, but some people get way more value in person than online, and others they still get more, but not quite as much.
yeah, yeah. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do both because, like, fiscally and economically speaking, like, it's so great to have the online thing
Yeah,
because ultimately,
you can travel.
that's it. Like, I have been burnt out
Yeah,
working face to face. Like when I did 7 years straight in a commercial gym, like I was pretty fed up with it by the end of that. More just being in that place of like not being so financially secure that someone could come through and I'm like, oh, this person seems like they're a bit of a piece of work,
yeah,
and still having to say yes to them as a client. Whereas now having the online
yeah.
thing and like again, like I'm training most of the people I train in person for free at this stage. It completely changes the attitude towards it. Or that, and I got the absolute dream. Some 16-year-old Samoan kid who was playing at a very high level rugby league and rugby union. He snapped his ankle last year, and his mum
That's a
brought him
dream.
in because he's keen to get into Olympic
Yeah,
weightlifting. And
dude, but having
we're,
young
we're
athletes.
hosting an Olympics in 7 years, and just like 16-year-old Samoan kid, like at the tail end of puberty. I'm like, oh, dude, like if you could put the order in, that's exactly what you'd ask for.
How big is he right now at 16?
He's not a massive one.
He's
He's
just
like
fit.
I mean he's bigger than I was. He's about 87 kilos and he's sort of about like 5'11", 6 foot. So When I say tail end of puberty, like could just be in the middle of it, could keep
Yeah.
going. Hopefully he doesn't get too long. But just just the way he moves, like he power cleaned 90 kilos on his first session.
Dude.
Like with not great technique, but he just has that, just got that athleticism, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just muscle it up there. Have you ever seen that little Samoan rugby player kid? I don't know who he played for. They have highlights of him just fucking trucking over everybody. They're all just bouncing off of him. I can't remember what country he was from, but he's fucking like a hoss, dude.
Fijians,
Yeah,
Samoans,
dude.
all those Pacific Islanders, like it's just insane,
They won
man.
the
Like,
gold. And they're like, what the fuck?
well, just the overrepresentation of Samoans in the NFL and things
Yeah.
like that. It's like the All Blacks being so dominant in world rugby. It's and even domestically, like the Australian rugby league and rugby union scene is dominated by Pacific Islanders. Like
Yeah, dude, I want to
something
find that thing.
else.
I'll send that to you. This little kid, it's the funniest fucking thing ever. It's like he's like Mike Allstott, and everyone else is like in junior high pee wee football fucking playing against him. When
I
I
remember growing up playing against them, just like these like Samoan, Tongan, Fijian kids, and you're just like, fuck me. Like, is he really my age? Like, what's going
dude,
on?
that's what where I'm from. Those were our country black kids. The one
Yeah.
that they were fucking huge, and they would fuck us up. They were so jacked. When I went to
And you see
Fiji,
the odd white guy built like that, but it's a way less common thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. When I was in Fiji, they don't have people that work out, and this is when I was maybe even a little bigger, and they're all like, everyone's like, "Oh, you rugby? Yeah, you play rugby." That was the only thing they could think of. Like, you can't do anything else. Like, how?
Yeah.
You just lift the
What else
lift,
is the point of being physically developed if not just to move the egg around the field?
right? That's funny. So, when you are taking in new people, we'll talk a little bit about some fitness stuff. One thing that you always are big on that I see you post a lot. Maybe we talked about this a little bit last time, is the assessments. I was just breaking down. I wanted to see, when do you think for a person it is good to do an assessment, or do you recommend like pretty much never, like as far as like a full assessment? If it's a paying client, or how would you approach that?
It fully depends on you as a trainer, where you're at, and it depends on your client as well and where they're at. And so there's been stages of my career, even as like this movement optimist, exercise is safe. Like we can just go straight into a low grade of exercise. There's still been like probing assessments that I've enjoyed. Like I rate a toe touch.
Yeah,
I think a toe touch shows you so much about what you might see then in someone's squat, their shoulder flexion, or all just from seeing a toe touch, and like just the way they manage their center of mass. Just watching the way someone walks around. How
yeah.
does their foot interact with the ground from heel to toe? Is there any heel? Is it all just sort of toe? Is it smooth, or is it like this weird sort of violent, gross, bouncy sort of thing? There's been periods of my coaching where I have lent into explicit assessments, but at this stage, with where I feel like my coaching eye is at, which obviously comes with a lot of bias, I feel like I am just going to see the things I need to see when I expose them to training. So, because I am going to get them full range squatting on whether it's a free weight setup or whether it's in a machine setup. I'm going to get them jumping and landing off of two legs, off of one leg. I'm going to see them run around a little bit. And it's more. I and I try to think to myself, what is the thing that I will be looking for in some sort of explicit assessment that would then change how I'm programming all of this stuff? And again, I think so far, I just feel like I'm seeing what I need to see just by engaging in training with all those people. So, like I said, there has been times where I'm getting into new types of training where I might need to see things slowed down, or I might need to isolate a few different movements to check that I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing. Then, from a client perspective, I think we exist in an industry where so many people have been made to fear exercise. Maybe they haven't even been made to fear exercise by certain industry rhetoric, but maybe it's just they're just a hesitant sort of person. And I think doing some sort of explicit assessment communicates to them it's like, I am a professional. I'm considerate, I care about you, I'm very interested in your physical condition explicitly before I throw you into exercise, because it could be more about the client's perception of what it
Yeah.
means to skip an assessment, that like I'm sort of being too nonchalant or
Yeah.
blasé about things. So I always want to meet the client where they're at in terms of those things and like show them that I care. But like most of my explicit assessment is sort of just like a conversation about like, how do you perceive yourself? Like, what do you think's wrong with you? And maybe some of those things I'm like, oh, like, is that really a
Yeah.
problem? Or did you just get told that that
What's your
was a problem? You
perception?
don't really feel like it's a problem. And then, yeah, just sort of work with them on those levels. Because then again, like all those things that they point out, they're like, this is wrong with me, this is wrong with me, this is wrong with me. Then I can sort of zoom in on those just to sort of show it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here.
I really care about how you feel about these things.
It's interesting because I have like a small group of trainers I do like a little monthly thing with, and we were talking about assessments, and I was thinking about you because I know I think you're totally right. It really depends on where you're at and where your client is at because a couple of the guys and the guys, actually the girls are more on top of their shit. A couple of the guys, like they don't really have a background in anything that's going to provide a lot of value for them to do a table test or anything, and they're going to make themselves like not look that good or like waste time. So for them,
Don't you see people as well just compensating on the table
yeah, and if they're
test
like, oh,
anyway?
that's
It's like,
good. Yeah,
yeah,
like you got to know what you're seeing,
you've got
and
to
then
be a bit of a weapon to table test cleanly.
yeah, and and I a lot of times when I'm doing it, like I'll have them do it all fucked up because I want to see what they do fucked up, and then I'll clean it up and see what is real. But then I had somebody in there who was an FRC guy, like a big FRC guy, and I love a couple things about FRC, but man, I think so many people that are like balls deep into it are really spending a lot of time doing shit that they could not have to do necessarily, like endless cars and endless liftoffs. And so they do the FRA. Are you familiar with that? Where it's like you go through every joint of the body on
Oh, yeah.
and then they do a car assessment. I'm like, no, you do. You're gonna spend 2 sessions assessing this person. It's like for shit that is global, like anyway, like with a car. I'm like, come on, like if they want to do that or
Yeah.
there's something specific you're looking at. But I was like, we need to like make this specific to the individual because some people can build a ton of value in the assessment if that's a skill set you have, and you can definitely want to do that if that's something you can do. But yeah, I think it depends on the client too. I have some people. I mean, now all my people come to me are fucked up, so like they want to go on the table. But before, like I would have some people that maybe would need some shit, and I would just do real quick. I'm like, okay, I know what you need, but like my guy, I trained the CEO of Hyundai. He's got a place out in Ibiza. That's why I was asking. I might go out there. And so I
Yeah,
mean, he's
nice.
fucking traveling. He's always in Korea. He's all fucked. He's not like perfect. He's fucked up, but he's not like that bad. But he's somebody
You can't
who
spend that much time sitting in a plane seat. Having said that, he's probably in a nicer plane seat than you and me, but he'd be
but
getting a little
still,
bit messed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
just traveling. I mean, there's the jet, but I'm not gonna put him in there and put him on the table when he's finally getting in and doing something physical. Even though, like, if I had it, like, I would rather do that, but I know he's not gonna get that. So we'll just do. You can try to fix a lot of shit during the workout. I'm sure. I mean, obviously, you know that you can create expansion where you need it. You can drive internal rotation, and then if you don't quite have the space that you need, like sometimes you can trick them into doing something to gain it. You
You
know?
know what? Table testing and like PRI as a whole, I think like a big takeaway I had from that was because just going from that experience of like someone moving like absolute dog shit, standing up when they have to resist gravity on their own accord, manage their center of mass within their base of support, and then laying them down on the table, and all of a sudden all their joint ranges of motion free up so much. A big takeaway from that for me was like, oh, right, like if someone is restricted, try to remove the influence of gravity from the system,
Oh yeah,
and all of a sudden they'll have that space to move through.
yeah,
Like that's why I'm
exactly.
such a big advocate of seated pressing and things like
Yeah,
that. It's like
like
if someone
short
can't
seated
get
or
their
what?
arm, all
Yeah,
form, long seated, short
yeah,
seated, a lot of the time sitting 90 degrees, like in a
yeah,
computer chair sort of setup, like phenomenal for helping people get into like real clean, smooth shoulder flexion.
yeah.
So it was more like learnings like that, or like I said, if someone's not getting something, it's like remove the influence of gravity. All of a sudden, everyone just has so much more space to sort of move through and so much more command of the system.
Yeah, there's sequencing, right? If you have somebody who, can't do something, like you start them on the ground, get rid of gravity, and then you maybe put them wall supported if you have to and teach them how to do it. And then, sometimes you can go straight to a move after you do the first level and just hold some isometric there and they can get it. But, it depends on the individual too. Some people are really connected with their body. So I've just started doing like I'm trying to do this series on ECM and bodybuilding, kind of breaking it down in simple terms. And I didn't see your video. I saw you did one on the expansion compression model, and I know that
Mm.
you have some experience, and I know it's like in your wheelhouse. It's not, you're not obsessive about it at all. So I'm curious, like someone who doesn't necessarily make it their main focus, like how are you thinking about it? How is it like affecting your framework that you apply to your clients?
Center of mass based support
Yeah.
is just such a governing sort of concept. And even though the expansion compression model is sort of built off this transverse plane scaffold, it was really how it ended up unpacking the sagittal plane
Yeah.
and just how you can affect all the transverse and frontal plane just purely by shifting people forwards and backwards. And it's just again, like you'd have so many like FRC people or just regular sort of strength coaches being like, "Oh, I need more hip internal rotation. I can't get this hip to internally rotate." I'm like, your center of mass is so far past your
Yeah.
toes. You're just
Yeah.
feeding all this ER into the
The
system, and
tibia
just
IR. I'm
you
gonna
just
get some tibia IR.
yeah, it's like just gotta just flex that axial skeleton, push your center of mass back a little bit. So really, really like key concepts like that.
What about
And just like
structure? Is that something you play with much? You taking the archetypes? Because I used to not until the
yeah,
last 6 months or so, and it's fucking a game. It really does a huge difference.
yeah. So, and again, like these are things and conclusions that you could arrive to without
Yeah,
an explicit expansion
exactly.
compression lens.
I did a
Having
lot of it
said
before I knew
that,
what that fucking was. Yeah,
intuitively, yeah. And wides and narrows, I really see that in Olympic weightlifting.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what
you,
I'm
you see it
thinking.
in every sport. You sort of see like, do you know Christian Coleman, the American sprinter?
No,
Wide ISA. He runs like a
yeah.
powerlifter.
Oh wow.
And then that's where like a lot of people go, oh, like wide ISA is powerlifter archetype, like not the most efficient locomotor. It's like Christian Coleman's run like a 9.7 300
Yeah,
meters. With his feet turned
yeah.
out, he looks like he's trying to elbow his way through a crowd
It's
when
producing a lot of
he's in
force,
a
man. Those wide
he's running
assays,
like that. Yeah, yeah, it's
compensatory
insane.
IR.
And then you'll see someone like Usain Bolt, who like looks like he's trying to like run between these narrow columns and down this narrow passageway. And like both of these guys are phenomenal locomotors, but and they're doing it so differently. Like running 100 meters is such a specific thing. Yet it's sort of where I see the most diversity in body shapes on the starting line, even at the elite level. Like you look at Oblique Seville compared to like Kashane Thompson, compared to Noah Lyles, compared to a Christian Coleman, compared to not Tyson Gay, who's the Jamaican guy who ran the second fastest of all time, then got done for steroids.
Oh,
Johan Blake.
Ben, yeah. Who?
Again, even just Johan Blake
What
and
about
Usain
Ben
Bolt.
Johnson? He was Canadian, right? He was pretty
Shout out to
jacked,
Ben
right?
Johnson, legend of the game.
He was
Yeah,
jacked, right? Was he wider? I think he's pretty big.
yeah, yeah. He was compressed for sure.
Yeah. What about
I
when
don't
they
know if he was
what about
wider.
you get further, like the 400? Does that change? You still see a good mix
You,
in the
I
elite?
haven't seen anyone run like a powerlifter. No, like that is a good point. So that's probably the end. You're never gonna see anyone with their feet like
Yeah.
mad turned out, running down 400 like that. Back to weightlifting though. Yeah, with the wides and the narrows, like I think Bill Hartman sort of moved away from talking about it as an arc, but there was like
Yeah, he
the
gets really
three
mad if you say
phases.
arc. Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. Out of respect for him, I'll try to not say arc, even though inside me it's screaming like fucking arc.
Yeah, it's
So we'll
just
just say
arc.
the three phases of propulsion: early, middle, and late propulsion. Like you see it so much in weightlifting, because
Yeah.
in Olympic weightlifting, one of the big dogmas is you have to complete triple extension. It's like,
Yep.
no, some degree of triple extension
Everybody.
has to
Yeah,
occur. All these wide ISAs,
they're not hitting it for real.
they never extend their knees and
Yeah.
they never plan a flex and go into their
Is
tippy
that the
toes
goal? Do
real
you
hard.
want them to try to hit triple extension,
No,
or you don't even want
no,
to try it? I'm not familiar.
nah.
Yeah.
So some people will, the more narrow archetypes who will really emphasize the wind up and they'll really emphasize finishing that triple extension with hard knee extension and a lot of plantar flexion onto the toes. They will often do it. The wide people, honestly, they'll just hip extend really hard over a bent knee and they'll get a little bit of knee extension, but it's like quite variable and they'll finish the pull with quite soft knees and their feet pretty flat to the floor. What this allows them to do, because they're so efficient in mid propulsion, the bar's going to continue heading upwards and it just gives them more time to
The yield. Yeah.
transition under the bar. So
Yeah.
they're maximizing the amount of time where the bar's heading up and they're heading down. And that's what creates that really snappy lifting, because Olympic weightlifting is not just pulling the bar as high as possible, it's pulling the bar high enough. It's like golf with the barbell, is the way I sort of describe it.
Yeah.
Like it's this real pinnacle of controlled aggression. Whereas again, the narrow ISA or narrow structured Olympic weightlifters, they get fuck all out of the early parts of the second pull. So then they almost have to like, it's almost like they're trying to do a standing backflip with the barbell in their
Yeah.
hands. They'll lean back a lot, violently extend the knees. You should look at, if you want to see what I characterize as like very stereotypical narrow build Olympic lifting behavior at an elite level, look at Carlos Nassar.
Oh,
He was in the 81 kilo class. He set a world record at 17 years old. And it is the most, you just see so much emphasis on the early and late part of his propulsive phase. In mid propulsion, he's almost like lowering himself under the bar, sneaking back under the bar, just getting ready for his over exaggerated finish to propulsion. It's quite interesting. Nowadays, when you look at him, he's a little bit older. He's gone up about like 12 to 15 kilos in
oh,
body weight. And even though he still has that narrow structure, it's like, you know how muscle
yeah.
just compresses
You're
you,
gonna have
and the
some
more
pressure.
muscle you build, you'll start to sort of morph into more
Yeah.
behaving more like you have a compressed axial skeleton. So he's not demonstrating these qualities like nearly to the same degree these days. But even just sort of watching that transition in his behavior as he's become more well muscled. And again, why is this stuff helpful at an applicable level? If you're a good coach with good instincts, you'll see someone lifting at an elite level, not completing triple extension, and you'd be like, well, they snatch and clean and jerk more than everyone. And it's not a
Yeah.
triple extension competition. It's a
Exactly.
lifting the most weight. So I'm not going to deal with any of that. But
Dottie's
a
not
lot
judging
of
this.
yeah, a lot of Olympic weightlifting coaches were like, no, it's wrong. Like there is one way to lift a barbell. Whereas like again, if you've got any sort of just like decent instincts about you, be like, well, aren't there a whole bunch of different
Yeah.
shapes of human? And so that's the thing. Rather than being like, well, there's an infinite amount of different shaped humans, so lift the bar. However, I think sort of going from there's one way to clean and jerk and snatch a barbell to like, well, we've sort of got this spectrum and these two key archetypes. I find that like really practical to sort of illuminate these sort of archetypes to coaches. And again, I think it's so easy if you're watching a lot of a sport to see the wide archetypes, to see
Yeah.
the narrow archetypes emerge. It's that aspect of it, and just the three phases of propulsion, rather than just like looking at all athletic propulsion as triple
Yeah.
extension. It's like
Dude.
full triple extension. In any athletic activity where there's a rhythm and timing component, which is fucking all of them, it's not just this given that you're going to
Yeah.
hit end range triple
What,
extension.
like a
Same with
long jump or
sprinting.
something? That's the only like when do you have
You
to?
will. You will.
Like,
No, that's a great
like
example. That is one of the few examples
yeah.
where like because yes, there's a timing and a rhythm component to it, but because you have so much time in the air, because if
Yeah.
you're good at long jump, you're going to be in the air traveling like 8 meters. You'll have time, heaps of time to readjust your body for the landing. Let's go back to something similar to that though, sprinting. So when you are sprinting, like, yes, you need to extend your leg behind the body and put a lot of force and propel yourself along the ground. Having said that, the further that leg gets behind your body as you complete that triple extension, then it has so much further to travel to get into your front side. So if you're focused on triple extension, we see this like over backside dominance, whereas your ability to get into your front side is sometimes benefited from cutting the extension a little bit short. Again, good athletes who need to do it, you won't need to coach
Yeah.
it into them. They're going to do it instinctively. It's more as a coach having the wisdom to identify it and then not coach it out of them. But it just allows you to get back into your front side a little bit quicker. And so, again, dunking a basketball, they will triple extend because you're going to spend so much
Yeah.
time in the air, but you don't even have to worry about the land. Who cares if you fall over after you've done a huge dunk, hang off the rim for 3 seconds, hit the ground however you want. But when you got to get back to the ground rapidly, like in sprinting and like in Olympic weightlifting, understanding propulsion as three phases, understanding those two different archetypes, I personally found it a very
Dude.
helpful framework.
I love obviously for like mobility and I so it's kind of like tricky because I've always been a big fan before I even knew like Bill's model of like gait in the gym, but not, people take this fucking weird. They get so weird with it too, though, right? So it's like what I found is if you can match the propulsive cycle in the gym with kind of like the phase that you're in, you're gonna get like way better benefits pretty much across the board. Like the joint's gonna spiral way better. You're gonna compress tension to the target area a lot better. You're gonna
They'll just
maintain.
usually look more comfy,
Dude,
like
and that's the
less
thing
fishy
too. Like
out
you
of
said, you don't
water.
have to know what it is. Like it looks weird. Like I didn't know what I was looking at before. And but the problem is they're like some people And I think I don't know a lot about functional patterns. I think this is his thing, right? He wants everything to be like full propulsion, like pretty much like he wants everything
I don't think he understands the gate cycle that well.
so
Like that's my personal hot take on him.
yeah, so that what my thing is like in the gym, if you're on a movement, like say you're doing a squat, some sort of squat pattern, maybe you're doing a hack squat or something, that is gonna be a part of the gait cycle. Like, are you gonna be you're pretty much in that mid, that the whole like
Mm,
the whole phase of the mid. You're not gonna be late and super late, your heel's not coming off, you're not gonna get super early yielding, but you want to maximize that the early to late mid phase, which you can break those sections down even more, right? So like if you can think about the foot contacts and the yielding positions of your thorax, right, and you maintain that and you do the propulsive phase, it's like the tension is so fucking bad on the muscles, it hurts so bad and like in a good way. And but you don't try to turn it into more than it is. That's what I'm saying. Like some people feel like they've got
yeah,
to hit the full gait cycle. Like if you're doing a seated calf raise, that is a very small part of the propulsive cycle. And I think that's
yeah,
okay for bodybuilding. You don't have to go through everything, but if something lends itself to it, like when I have people just doing standing calf raises, like I want to put them through the propulsive cycle on that, especially we're doing single leg. I just think there's so many benefits. So I think it's something that is a really cool tool to direct tension and to get your body moving right. But I think some people can get really obsessive in the industry. Like I work with some PTs who are all like everything, every single thing. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
well, okay, I understand. I have that in my brain, but I also like to do some like preacher curls, maybe, and that's going
The
through propulsion
compression
too. If you break it
expansion
down,
model.
I'm sure
Yeah,
Bill can.
that's the thing. It's all propulsion at
Yeah.
the end of the day. It's all gate at the end of the day. I think the model is way less disorienting when you have specific questions going into learning about it. Like the PRI stuff and compression expansion stuff, which I realize doesn't fully overlap, but there's a lot of like
Yeah.
shared concepts there. There were so many logical inconsistencies in what I've been told about like what was considered good or efficient movement for strength training, as far as like feet pronating, as far as like maintaining positive shin angles or like proximal distal extension versus just like simultaneous triple extension of the ankles, knees, and hips. And then it was just like PRI and expansion compression was just there being like, no, like we can answer these questions in a way that's like a lot more logical for you. So like that's why I found it so helpful. Like even that idea of squatting into ER. Because I would say, like, yeah, practically with my strength athletes, like my powerlifters and things like that, a lot of the Gen Pop, like when they're doing a squat, I'm squatting them through mid propulsion. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to push them down to the point where they're plantar flexing, where their hips are tucking
I mean,
under
I
them,
don't do that
going
with a
into
bar
that
on my
real
back. If
ER
I was
position.
Zercher or a goblet, maybe, but
No, but in saving a snatch, that is where you see
yeah,
it. So to catch a snatch as deep as humanly possible, your shins are going to have to
yeah.
move back towards your chest. You're going to have a little bit of that lumbar flexion, that posterior tilting, and that real opening up of the pelvis. And it was just validating to see someone be like, no, it's actually plantar flexion that's going to get you as deep as possible in a
Yeah.
squat. That like third world, shit your pants, smoke a cigarette, save a heavy snatch. Like
Yeah.
that is sort of the application for that. Whereas I agree, like, and I think that was one of the things that confused a lot of people when there was all this conversation. It's like, oh, squats are ER, but it's like, what the hell is a squat?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
is a squat like how a high level sprinter does it with 400 kilos on their back and 2 inches of ROM? A squat like a powerlifter does it, like with the barbell down on their rear delts, just trying to get down to parallel. A squat how someone in Indonesia who's on their work break smokes a
Yeah.
cigarette. Like, or how someone saves a snatch. Like a squat is a billion and one different things. So like you have to be quite specific what you're talking about. Because again, is a squat ER or IR? It's like show me how you squat, then I can give you an answer. It's the same as like if you walk up to some random cunt in the street and you're like, "Oh, what are you training at the gym today?" They're like, "I'm squatting." I have no idea what you're doing. I have no idea. Like
Exactly.
that could be a million and one different sort of presentations there.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've always been into the gate stuff. I can't remember who I heard about it first, before I heard about Bill, but then Bill's model just made it like just click so much better because it's like one of those things you recognize what you've already seen. You're like, okay, like that makes sense. That's why when I do this on my one leg, like it feels way different. I got one leg that's one side is way more
Oh, dude,
propulsive.
the single leg stuff as well. I think, and it was Pat D. Pat D as
I
well
love Pat.
was the guy, at least in the online space, who made me realize it's like, oh, you can be into the gait cycle and not train like a cuck. You can
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
into breathing mechanics and not train like a cuck. And it was also Patty D who made me look at unilateral work or single leg work or asymmetrical staggered stance work as frontal plane work.
Yeah.
all of a sudden, just like, and the way so many people, where you put them into that unilateral stance and their center of mass is just hanging out smack bang in the middle of their two bases of support
Yeah.
versus being like, no, no, like let's actually get you on one leg. Not that it's wrong to hang out between your bases of support in an asymmetrical stance. You might want to train your rec fem on the back
Yeah.
leg, or God knows what you're doing. Maybe you're just doing an asymmetrical bilateral sort of setup.
You could be
But
shifting
just
your pelvis, maybe.
when you're
Yeah.
making me realize that that's what majority of people do, I was like, oh my God. And like, again, the practical takeaway there was as well, just taking away so much of the load of all my clients' split squats and things like that. Because
Yeah.
again, I was just like, Susan from accounting has to be pretty damn strong to get her whole body weight over one leg and hold like 20-kilo dumbbells. You know what I mean? Like, it's like realistically, if you push the load early on a lot of people's unilateral or single leg work, you're just forcing them to use both legs. Again, is that a problem? You've got to sort of weigh that up in your whole system. Because again, for me, if I'm giving someone a split squat, it's as a secondary. I'm probably trying to avoid just loading the shit out of their axial skeleton or something like that. So to be able to do that more effectively and cleanly with less load, like that was a really valuable thing for me. Again,
Um,
just to properly understand the frontal plane and weight shifting.
Dude, I love Pat. I'm gonna try to get him on again soon. He was one of my favorite talks. I like something that he did that I've it's one of those things too. You intuitively always know, but when you understand the ECM, it makes more sense. And I used to when I was a first trainer, maybe I was like 19 years old. I would have trying to build chest. People have shoulder pain. They can't press. I'm like, okay, well, whenever we like say we're on like a cable, like the free motion chest press, wherever. As soon as I switch to neutral, like, oh, you're fine. You don't have pain. As soon as we like turn into a scoop, and then when you understand ECM and expansion compression in the joint space and what's going on, you're like, okay, well, I'm giving myself more of an opportunity to have space to work in. Like I'm already at the anterior part right here. If I change and make everything more ER biased, now I can actually produce force without pain. And Pat's whole thing was on that. I think that's what one of his big books is on, right? Like from the hip setup to the shoulders, everything. And I think that's something that
Rethinking the big patterns.
yeah,
That
it's
was an
something that's
absolute
intuitive,
gem.
but when you
Yeah.
understand the why behind it, then you can apply it really specifically too. And I think this just gives you some more tricks, some more things to play with when you understand it, I think.
Yeah. Something that I've really been applying, and again, it's not any logical leaps I've personally made from the ECM model. It's more just been watching your content, shortening up my range of motion
Yeah.
in my chest work, like all my pec flyers, all my dumbbell pressing. For me, bench press, I more just do because I want to
Yeah.
increase the number on the bar. So you probably throw up in your mouth if you saw my
Oh,
bench
if you're
press, but
powerlifting, that's what you
I'm
want
sure
to
you
do. That's
have
what you
seen.
want to do. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But as soon as I'm off the bench press, I just tuck myself up into a little
That's
ball,
perfect.
half from
Yeah.
dumbbell press, or just tucked up into a ball
Yeah.
doing the flies, just Jonathaning my Warren.
Yeah, that's what I tell all my powerlifters that I do is like, and honestly, a lot of times I have them not
Dude, the
always.
chest pumps are crazy. The chest
Yeah,
pumps are
just
crazy.
just get
Because
some
like
sort of
as someone who
alternation,
never
right,
felt much chest, but I was like,
dude?
there's not much chest there. So how
Dude.
much of a mind muscle connection can I expect? But no, just getting flatter, reducing that range of motion, it's
Yeah. And
game changer.
by reducing that range of motion, you're actually like we were talking about, you're following more of the propulsive cycle, right? Because when we're in the powerlifter bench, you're stuck in late. You're not actually getting any yielding any kind of like eccentric load on those the same way as when you are able to get that posterior expansion. That's why that stretch feels more. That's why the tension feels so
I
much
get
more.
corrected as well. I get like, because whenever I'm working in with someone on the chest fly machine, I'll always take the pin so that the starting position,
This-
I'm starting with my elbow
Yeah,
in line with my shoulders. It's not even in front, but
yeah,
like everyone else who's using it, they'll
yeah,
almost be in like the rear delt setting, like coming from here.
exactly.
And I don't say anything to them. I'm like, I just go to sort of adjust it to the ROM that I'm looking for. And they're like, why don't you want the stretch? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I don't want to, we're
Yeah,
not getting into it when I'm on 400 milligrams of caffeine and I know where you got the information from and he has a PhD. So
yeah.
why would you listen to the skinny guy with no chest over? Like, yeah, Mike Israetel, he has a bigger chest than me.
But now
It's
you
like,
got the link. You can just send them send them the vid. And so, do you ever have your people do anything asymmetrical? I mean, like loading one side to try to make one side more propulsive or anything?
um, it's sort of like, I hate split squats. No, so how should I say this? Yeah, I do. I don't like doing split squats. I do. I like some variations, but I really love bilateral squatting and hinging. And honestly, like, when was the last time I prescribed a split squat? I think one of my online clients asked for one. So I did it. But like, other than that, because and I'm not saying that just because you run around a lot or just because you do single leg plyos that you there's no reason to ever do a split squat. But that's sort of all of my weight shifting, all of my unilateral work sort of comes off the back of that. Like I'm just straight up locomoting. Um, but yeah, no, all of my like practically and again, this I'm not saying that this is the ideal way to do it. It's just sort of like, well, I can lift more if I do a bilateral
Yeah.
squat. Like yeah, just been an absolute pig for bilateral work lately. But again, a heavy base of alternation because even my full time strength athlete Dylan, who like snatches 150 kilos, clean and jerks 185, 190 kilos, he's doing his acceleration work. He's doing his hopping and stuff like that. So even for him, I don't really see much benefit to adding in the split squats because I would be doing it for that reason. It's like, okay, can I achieve this frontal plane stack over each leg? Can I get him shifting in and out of both hips? And like I could just see when he's doing his acceleration, like he's shifted in and out of his hips so
Yeah.
good. Because we do that. So like I think some weight shifting has to be in your
Yeah.
program. But a lot of ours, just because we've got a few extra
You
buckets
think it
to
has to be
throw into it
loaded
as well.
necessarily, the shift? I mean, any more than gravity?
Well, all of my early acceleration work with my strength athletes and a lot of my S&C athletes would be resisted acceleration anyway.
So
So
what are you
not
on, like a
not that
parachute
we're
or what are you
getting
on?
just a sled. So a
Sled, okay.
sled, usually the classic workout will be 0 to 5 or 0 to 10.
You have them going
And I'll sort
forwards
of
usually, or what?
going forwards, starting in like a 2 point start or a 3 point start, and typically working up to about 50% body weight.
Are you talking about
Pyramiding.
pulling it behind you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So strap around your
Yeah.
waist, and then yeah, just running in a straight line, sled dragging along behind you.
Yeah.
It's really, really phenomenal. And like, if you have, there's go have a look at slow motion footage of like there's a Tyson Gay and a Safa Power start, just camera right behind them, and just the amount of just lateral shifting in and out of each hit that you get in those first few steps, absolute money. And like I said, with a bit of resistance, it slows it down to make it just sort of strength training enough.
Yeah.
It's a I could not be more excited about resisted acceleration, the way it's like this amazing bridge between pure locomotion and pure high speed running and strength training. I really like it, especially for people who are just sort of who are looking to flirt with concepts
Yeah.
like locomotion, but then they're like, I have a bodybuilding competition in X amount of weeks. Do I really want to have to pull out of this because I tore a hamstring because I got
Yeah.
excited about locomotion and stuff like that? Resisted acceleration is a very, very safe entry point into it. Like I say, because it slows it down to make it closer to strength training. And it's really like a lot of the damaging force or forces that are going to potentially damage you in sprinting, they're a byproduct of the velocity. When you remove the velocity, it makes it so much safer and so much less hard on the body.
Yeah, but even though it's loaded, people won't think that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite. So the more weight you put on them in sprinting, the more time they have to move, the easier it gets technically and in terms of the forces on the body.
You go backwards much on it at all? I know Bill's
Nah, more just because I talk too much shit about knees over toes guys have just said
is that his
before.
thing? I know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know anything
It
about
was
him.
walking backwards on the beach and staring into the sun is the point where it got yeah.
That's funny.
It's
No,
legendary.
I've never seen him. So people ask me all the
It's
time
good though. No,
about
it
him.
is good. If your knees are sore, go do some backwards sled and stuff. But like,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
backward sled is good. I forget what Bill
Like
used it for.
anything good can be ruined, right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean that's the thing with like everybody. Like I guess let's talk about Nadi real quick. So I don't know a lot of functional patterns. Like I said, I watched so actually I watched fitness content back in 2012. That was like the one year I watched, and Nadi was around, and I remember watching him doing some kettlebell stuff, and I was like, this is cool. Like this is fine. Like this is sweet. And I'm on board with a lot of the concepts I've heard. So I watched a video from Alex Bromley. Is that his name, right? He's big, right?
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
anybody, so he did a video on him because I just wanted people keep asking me about him, so I wanted to know a little more about what he was about. And like a lot of his shit, like I'm on board with that shit's fine, but at the same time, it's like, but that seems like all the prep work. Like we don't. What about the actual work? You know?
That's what it is, and it's kind of like cosplaying as S and C. It's missing a lot of the traditional strength training, and they've sort of demonized the strength training because
Yeah.
they'll point out pure bodybuilders who haven't run since high school, and they're like, "Look at the way
They're
strength
so
training
light.
makes you
Yeah.
move," and it's some roided up IFBB pro doing sprinting for the first time in a decade. And it's like, no, his gait cycle's cooked because he doesn't locomote. Whereas, again, you look at all these elite sprinters who are crushing super heavy weights, but then they're still locomoting multiple times a
Yeah.
week, and their gait cycle is phenomenal. So that's sort of my view at it. It's like I am not surprised at all that someone like Mark Bell, because he's been quite not sympathetic. What's the word I'm searching for here? He's been promoting the functional patterns guys a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, man, it just makes me feel so good. It's like, yeah, because you
Dude,
did wide stance,
yeah, it's
high
power.
box squats in compressive gear for
Yeah.
decades. It's like, yeah, of course, all of a sudden you do a little bit of
That's
like,
why he likes Weck
this
so
thing
much,
can
you know?
rotate. It's like, oh, I do 100%, 100%. And anyone who like I appreciate the Weck stuff the same way that you do because you're like you realize that there's so many parallels between all of these
Yeah.
systems and the exercises that you end up landing on when you go down the locomotion, when you go down the respiratory rabbit hole. It's just sort of how you end up justifying it, what you end up demonizing once you've sort of learned
Yeah.
about all these new tricks, sort of thing. Whereas, yeah, for me, it's like, hey, if you want to enjoy the gait cycle, it's like go run. Go run. Like
It,
you don't have to do weird shit. Like you can just and some people you don't want to tell to run. You
yeah.
don't want to tell fucking Serge Oliveira
Yeah.
before he's Olympia qualified. It's like, yeah, well, like I want to get you hip shifting, and the best way to hip shift is to locomote. So I want you to just go out in that field and sprint as hard as possible. Tears a hamstring. So it's like it's not. But for the
What
average
we do,
person,
I'll tell you what I do with Sergio. We just stand and I just shift the weight on his foot as he's standing. That's it. We don't
cross
even move. We
trainer.
just shift as we're standing with the reach. Yeah.
Actually, wait, cross trainer is ipsilateral, is it? Or am I tripping? No, no, you can get alternating
I
patterns
think
on
it's
cross trainer.
alternating. It's
Man,
got to be
I
alternating. It'd
haven't
be
been
fucked
on
up if
one.
it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
I don't do any cardio,
That'd
so I
be
don't
a
know.
great psyop. Just ruin
Right?
the locomotion of the general public.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't been doing any fucking split squats so
What
far.
is Nadi's whole thing? Like, why is he so Alexander was talking about how he like he showed some text message, right? How he was freaking out because somebody wanted to squat. And he said, I guess you can do a goblet squat, but there's no reason. Definitely don't fucking squat with anything on your back. Like what is the like the scare tactics come from? Is this a marketing technique you think, or is this something he really thinks?
Oh, does he really think it? I always go back to, do you like Seinfeld?
Yeah, yeah.
You know the George Costanza line where he's like, "It's not a lie if you believe it." I think it's
Yeah.
sort of that. Like
Right?
he's been living the life for so long that it just has sunk into his DNA. Like I remember when I was trying to get a shift off back when I was working the front desk of a gym at reception, and I lied to my boss about having tonsillitis, and I just was living the lie so much that day, trying to convince my boss I had tonsillitis. They actually like felt the symptoms of it the next day, and I think now he's sort of in a place like that when it comes to just pushing his beliefs on exercise and stuff like that. Like he's just been in the game for so long, he has all these answers rehearsed and things like that, and it just reeks of the classic propaganda machine because is there's a seed of truth in it,
Yeah.
and
That's the
when there's a
problem.
seed of
Yeah.
truth in it, then you can spin the lie around. It's just like, yeah,
Well, that's
heavy
why
lifting does leave you a little bit
that's
stiff. It's
almost why
like,
like I
yeah,
don't want
if
to
that's
listen to
all you
his
do.
stuff because like I found him saying some shit that I say and I'm like, fuck, I don't like obviously I look very different than Nadi and I approach weightlifting very different than him, but I do think like there's some nuggets in there, but when you make it everything and it's
Dude,
like
if you're training like a straight up bodybuilder and stuff, and you go do some cable twirlies, you'll feel amazing. Like humans
cable for
thrive in a variable environment. So those
yeah.
cable twirlies, like if that's the first bit of quote unquote functional training that you're exposed to, you'd be like, this is the truth. And I'm just so personally grateful that I was exposed to slightly more sophisticated functional training philosophies, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
That I was never really attracted to the whole Nowdy thing because that's it. After listening to someone like Bill Hartman
Yeah.
and how intelligent he sounds, and then going to listen to Nowdy talking about the gate cycle. It's really
And
like
how different they are in
interesting.
their way of expressing it. Like Bill is not going to be absolutist about really anything, when he's
Yeah.
talking, whereas Nadi will be like, this is direct, this is this, like this is what like I mean anybody because I'm not obviously no one's as good as explaining this shit as Bill, but anytime I have somebody who like wants to just like come up against me with all kinds of shit, I'm like, look, just like talk to Bill and like see if you still have the same arguments. Like maybe you don't have to like take everything hook, line, and sinker, but you can be find it pretty hard to deny that this is something you need to have somewhere in your framework, like something. You don't have to base everything off of it, just have a little bit of that knowledge.
I just, you know how we were kind of joking about Pilates
Yeah, I have that on here to
briefly
talk
last
about too.
time I
What do
was
you
on
want to talk
here.
about? What?
I just thought, oh no, because I mean, now that I'm single, I'm not as bold
You're
with the
not with a
things
girl
that
no
I
more?
had to
Y'all
say
broke up
about
already?
Pilates. Yeah, so I've changed my tone. I was saying that Pilates is just functional patterns for women. I've switched it around. Now I think that functional patterns is just Pilates for ugly people.
Yeah, I think it's for people who know they can't get jacked, and
Yeah.
or people that have been hurt themselves maybe. But for people who just feel like they're not able to put on muscle, they want to feel like they can do something good, I guess.
Yeah, and so you give people like a special rule set, and like that's really marketable, right? Going and selling like a really expensive course to skinny people like me and be like, nah, you don't want to be jacked. That's bad. And you're like, oh, right. So I can just stay skinny fat and like, and that's really functional. And like, I'm living like true to the warrior spirit. It's like, dude, that's so attractive. Like, hell yeah. If you got a certain type of personality where feeling pretty inadequate and there's just like a course you can buy that makes you feel like you know more than everyone else and everyone else is dude, you're actually an idiot if you get really jacked and strong. Like, dude, amazing business model.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like what, like how fragile are we, and like what are we trying to do with our bodies? Because it's like for me as a bodybuilder, like I'm mobile for a bodybuilder, but I don't need crazy shit to do what I do to look good. And like for a bodybuilder, I'm like fucking Gumby, but not for somebody who's rock climbing and doing shit.
Nah, you're not like Mike Israetel. You move pretty good.
No, exactly. No, I mean, I did like Ninja Warrior shit. Like I have a background doing way more crazy core shit, and like I think that's important. I think I'm not a move. I'm not. People think sometimes I'm afraid of like movement variability. I just don't want you to be stuck in one fucking thing and not be able to get out of there. But do whatever fucking wild shit you want. Express your physicality. Like Cirque du Soleil, they're not doing things optimally, but that's fucking amazing. It's like if you
Because
bounce that
what
out
do you
later,
think
you're
about
okay.
because I think that this is like very relevant to what's happening in the science-based lifting community where everyone's going super heavy, everyone's gone super low reps. And I know you're not a big like, oh, always go full ROM, but they're almost being anti-ROM pilled now where again, it's sort of it's not any one of the things, it's the combination of things, always trying to go as heavy as possible. Always like not the biggest range of motion, but then also like very constrained in terms of the exercises that are considered optimal. And I think maybe it's a point you've made. I tend to agree with it. Just all those golden era bodybuilders, like, yeah, they were probably doing some exercises
Some
that were
stupid shit, but
complete bullshit,
yeah,
but
but
that was their cable twirly. And it's
yeah.
just polishing that rib cage. And like again, behind you, like Arnold has
Yeah.
one of the sickest rib cages
Yeah.
ever. It's one of the sick, and again, he would probably have that rib cage even if you trained like a straight up powerlift. Like, yeah, you'd be able to bang it out of shape eventually, but it's a bit of a God given
Yeah.
gift. But it's not just Arnold. It's a lot of those golden era guys. They had a look, and
They
there's so many
presented,
things that
they
go into
posed
that look.
in a way. Yeah.
But again, they were treating the gym like a sandpit. They were training for like 3 hours, and it's like if you're going to train for that long, you got to do a whole bunch of
Yeah,
different
they
exercises.
did extreme compression both ways, and then they treated their posing like it was working out too. So they're like spending a lot of time in these positions and really like flexing and contracting and breathing in these hard to feel positions. So yeah, I mean, I do think like sometimes they get like glorified a little bit. They did stupid
Yes,
shit too, but they did a
yes.
wider variety, and they definitely had more functional bodies than today's bodybuilders. I mean, and a little bit of that is just the size of the people today too. It's like it's hard to be functional when you're fucking the same weight as Arnold, but you're 5'5" on stage. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna look good like running around no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Weck, so let's kind of keep talking about these people that get a lot of hate. Now, I think probably a lot of the hate that Nadi gets is justified. I mean, I don't know that much, but like I said, anytime you're like so hard against something, like everything's okay, everything's on option. You know what I mean? It's not like you gotta do it all the time, but we can do whatever
Yeah,
fucking.
like it's all pretty good
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And like with Weck, I just think I think some people don't know what his thing is. Like there are people that are practice Weck method that you wouldn't even be able to tell they're really doing Weck method. And their whole thing is I'm just not gonna train only in extension. I'll put my spine through some flexion. I'll still do bilateral stuff. I'll do some coil stuff, but like they throw it in. Like not everything has to be coiled and RMT. Like, yeah, some of it can get silly. You can take anything too far. You can take PRI too far, ECM, FRC, powerlifting. You can take anything way too fucking
yeah.
far. And if everything you're fucking doing is coiled all the time, like I don't know if that's the most functional thing in the world, but their concepts, it's like you can apply it however the fuck you want. So I honestly, I don't know what the hate he gets. I mean, I know it's some of the way he presents himself and how hard he
He's the
goes.
Mike Israetel of functional fit. Well, maybe it's not an appropriate sort of
No, I don't
comparison.
think
Like
so. I think he's
Weck has a bit of an ego on him, but he was
yeah.
also there at the start.
Did you
Like
see our
he and
podcast?
I did. It was like he's a bit too off the handle these days, and he doesn't do
Fucking,
himself any service conducting himself like that because again, people are already a bit wary of it.
I
Whereas if he
know.
was be a little bit more down the road, be like, no, no, it's just good to like shift in and out of
Yeah,
each cycle.
exactly.
Like that's what I think about it. Like if I'm honest, but no, I really enjoyed it. It was about 2 years ago when a few people were sort of taking shots at Weck from the functional crowd. Like it was like maybe a Darian Barr was saying something about him. I think Nowdy was saying something about him. Like the Go to guys were sort of popping off, be like, no, no, we're the kings of the gate cycle. And Weck was like,
Oh,
I
they had a
started
big
all this
feud.
shit.
Yeah.
And he shared a photo of all of those guys at his seminar. And he's like, I'm top dog. They all buying tickets to my show. They stole my bars, like Soldier Boy style. It was that was really satisfying to watch.
Dude, I love David as a human being, dude. He's wild, dude. He would be such a fun uncle to have, like a wild uncle to
Yes.
have. Don't want him as your dad.
No, he's in my dream blunt rotation. My
Yeah,
dream
yeah,
fitness
exactly.
blunt
Yeah, I mean,
rotation.
he's right down by me. I've gone down there before. I got to go back and see him. But I mean, realistically, the only thing that he hammers is just don't fucking live with a stiff spine. Like that's the only foundational thing that I've like heard that this is the rule. Everything else, is varying degrees. I mean, do you think that's accurate or am I missing something? I mean, I've taken his courses.
Yes. I think it depends what day you catch him on because I've seen him when he's talking to Mark Bell and he's like, no, heavy squats, like, man, that's awesome stuff. But then other times he's been like, why would you ever lock in your spine to train? It's like, there's heaps of reasons to do
Yeah,
that. Again, like the truth is like, it's like, don't lock it in for everything.
yeah, if you do a Jefferson after,
Let
you're
Stu
pretty much
McGill it.
back to where you started, right? If you can, I
Yeah.
mean, you can just think about anatomically, right? I'm going from compression here to anterior compression down low. It's like you're gonna bounce it out. I mean, what do you think about the pro propulsors? That's something I don't know about.
Yeah. The I had a lot of fun with them. The what I didn't like so much was it the propulsor vest.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like you got the two maracas when you got the propulsors,
yeah,
but then you put like 32 of them in a
yeah,
vest, and it was like it'll make you jump high. It's like no, it's just going to increase your ground contact time by like half a second.
yeah. It seems like
Which maybe for some people there's a good effect to that. Some people need a little bit longer on the ground. Again, I think that there's so many people who haven't engaged with any sort of thought of timing and rhythm that or thinking about learning movement or coaching movement as this auditory sort of thing. And I think embracing that is really intelligent. Again, does it need to be a specific type of patented maraca that you sell for X amount of dollars? Like, nah, it's not that deep. You could borrow maracas from like a kid's toy kit or something like that
yeah.
and get the similar effect. And I do think it is that. It's like, no, no, shake these and your foot should hit the ground when you hear the shaky noise and like, or just like get a bit of a rhythm going. So I think in that sense, it's amazing. You know how he had Mark Bell, like, it looks like I'm jacking something up. He had Mark Bell running
Double
like
fisted,
that, doing like the frontal, playing double
dude.
fisted walks. I'm like, dude, that's all mad stuff. But again, it is sort of like you could have done anything different. But no, like I said, like I do like using auditory cues, so I enjoy playing around with them. Having said that, I've lost them because I took him out of my gym bag because every time I was going through the airport, it just looked like a homemade bomb.
Right?
Like these
Yeah.
two little canisters of ball bearings. I was like, this is just making me get pulled up every time I go through airport security.
Do you like his soul step wet deck stuff? I've had some pretty cool stuff with that with certain presentations.
I haven't had as much time to play around with them, but I am such a big advocate for changing the shape of the ground. So
Yeah.
like it'd be principally wrong for me to be like, no, I can't see the value in those because like I mean like doing anything to the ground, like heel wedges, like that's always going to be like the tip of the like yeah, I think like the biggest takeaway from all the ECM PRI stuff is like, hey, if your client's moving like shit, throw wedges under their heels, and like that's
Eh,
probably going to make whatever problem they've
Dude,
got a little bit better.
so
Like
what I say is just fucking posteriorly
a
expand.
little
And
bit.
that's what's happening with the
Yeah,
wedges. Yeah. Like just posteriorly expand
a
up or lower.
small amount of wedge.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. Sorry, I shouldn't just say just wedge people up because so many people
Yeah.
will just get you. The average gym wedge is like fucking that and
Yeah.
just stilettos the hell out of people. I'm like, no, just give me that subtle amount of wedge where I can actually get someone to heels or like not even heels, like I sort of refer to it as like the posterior aspect of
Yeah,
the rib. I mean, that is technically midfoot if it's in front of the calcaneus, but
yeah,
emphasizing that, like, I want people on the front of their
exactly. Start
calcaneus.
with the yield. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Start with like more propulsion to go through. Yeah, exactly.
all of a sudden, they just got shin angles for days. Open up the back of their ribs just opens up. It's like they can squat and hinge easy, get their arms above their head easy, and you're like, fuck. Like,
His
is that
Weck
all
stuff.
we really had to do?
Yeah,
But sorry, back to that. So then, yes, putting someone into more ER, shifting them forwards or backwards.
it's really
I'm
good for
such a
those
big fan of that.
athletes with those flat turned out feet. You were saying like that.
To the point where, like, I'll tell people, I'm like, look, if elevating their heels doesn't get the change that you're looking for, I'll be like, elevate every part of the foot
Yeah,
and keep repeating the movement and just see how changing things from the ground up changes it. Like, stick something under first met head, stick something under fifth met head,
yeah.
stick
I love
something,
Gary
stick
Ward's
a sock
wedges.
under the arch,
Yeah.
like, just to especially those high arches, right? Just putting a sock there, just, it's like, if they can't get it down to the ground, like, get the ground to reach out to it a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could just anchor
Same
just the
changes.
heel only and let the rest of it kind of hopefully go into more pronation. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the foot. And I mean, sometimes that's the fucking thing, too. Sometimes that's the thing that's keeping somebody from getting moving like the way they really want to optimize. So you can get the pelvis, you can get other things, but their foot shape needs to change sometimes. Not always. A lot of times it goes with the pelvis, but sometimes, especially when you have the ones that are like one foot is just so different, like way different phase of propulsion than the other. Like that's when I do the asymmetrical stuff. That's when I start doing like one foot elevated when we're doing splits versus the other, stuff like that. I never do like I always do bilateral stuff. Like when I'm doing my own shit, I might fuck around very slightly. Like I've done the stiff leg deadlifts. My pelvis in a pretty good spot with my toes elevated on the left side only. But like that shit I wouldn't do for clients. But I do a lot of asymmetrical stuff before I have them go into the bilateral stuff for sure.
Have you also felt that you can clean up a lot of side to side things though with bilateral inputs? Like, again, just shoving the center of mass back
Yeah, no, that's
as
so much.
far as you can
Well,
get it,
that
but
gives you
then
the
all of a
rotation
sudden
ability.
both,
Yeah.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of times people's like tibia just automatically like takes a better position and their foot shape looks different. Like, oh, I just need a place for that femoral head to roll a little bit, and now everything looks a little bit different.
yeah. Because do you like David Gray? Do you follow him at
Yeah,
all?
yeah, I follow him a little bit. I think I followed him from
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah, I love David Gray. I've taken away so much from him. And one of the tips that I've applied a lot from him is like, yeah, like, try the intervention on both sides. Like, because that's one thing where, like, I disagree with PRI quite a bit,
oh
where they're
yeah,
like, don't do the intervention on the wrong side. You'll mess them up even more. I'm like,
got to reciprocate.
I
You
don't,
know what I mean?
my experience doesn't line up with that. It's
I
like,
start
apply
with
the
one, like
intervention
I
on both
own
sides.
that and
Yeah,
then reciprocate. Yeah, but exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
that's
Just
where ECM stuff, like I'm glad PRI led me to Bill, so that's good because I like it's much more nuanced. They have to give you a system in PRI kind of.
yeah, 100%. I think, like, the big thing about those models that I like as well that you were kind of touching on is, like, when it comes to mobility, look at where the concentrations of joints are. Like, I feel like that's where traditional strength oriented or weight room view of human movement was always just completely inadequate. They'd be like, so many people are frustrated about the positions that they can achieve with their limbs. And it's like, well, yeah, you've got one joint here.
Yeah.
You got a joint there. It's, ball and socket joints, got a few different
Scapula.
options there, but,
Yeah.
like, really not that many joints. Whereas all of a sudden you look at the rib cage, you look at the foot, you look at the hand, and you're like, oh, right. Like, there's so much movement potential here, which, again, especially from that strength training world, like the foot, they're like, don't fucking move it. If it's moving, energy leakage. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Heaven for the biggest thing that frustrated me, every it felt like every single strength coach was like, arch the foot. But every strength coach was also saying, get on your midfoot, push through the midfoot. And I'm like, wait, if I maintain the arch in my foot, the midfoot's not even on the ground. How am I meant to push through the midfoot when and again, it's like the body wants to pronate. That's the
Yeah.
frustrating thing. It's like everyone will do it intuitively.
Yeah.
Almost everyone, unless, like, shout out to the people who actually do manage to lift heavy with a fully supinated foot.
The
I don't
supple
know
leopard
how you
way.
crazy bastards got there. Like, that is so much training out all of these really, really nice instincts
Yes.
that, that just things that come factory installed where you just manage to coach it out of yourself. I mean, you could say the same thing for, obviously, when you do have a barbell on your back, you don't want your spine to be moving a lot, but for like undoing a lot of the negative symptoms that people associate with heavy axial loading, again, it's just like find some opportunities to like ab training, I think is like such a phenomenal way to get the rib cage and the spine
The
moving. And
side
again,
bends that you do too. The side bends are so important. Yeah.
side bends and gar hammers and wood
What is that
chops.
one? What is that? Garhammer? What's that?
Gar hammers. So laying people on the bench and then like rolling yourself up from the knees and just rolling yourself up
Like
into
straight
the
leg or
wood
bent
block.
knee?
Bent knee.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Like, cause like again, like
Like a
just the
dragon thing or whatever it's called. A dragon. What's it fucking called? You know what I'm talking about?
so laying on the bench, holding onto the headrest, and then just
Yeah, just like a
pulling
reverse
your
crunch
heels to your butt,
segmented
and
kind
then
of.
yeah, but really
Yeah,
segmented and
yeah,
sort of rolling up. I've fried strong people on a flat bench,
yeah.
not even taking them onto any sort of incline because again, like they're just like going their rec abs going to absolute war with their erector spinae.
Yeah, you know
Just
what? I
trying
just
to
realized I'll do that segmented more like a pike now. I'm thinking about it, just really small range because a lot of times I try to get that lower anterior to compress on these people that have the hinge
yes.
points in the TL junction. Yeah, and then they always want to plop down exactly like segment back down. That's tough.
You get someone to open up their lower thoracic spine, and so many like real strong people just start shaking like a leaf, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden they can get into that part of hip flexion that was completely inaccessible to them before. I really enjoy focusing on that portion of the rib cage
yeah.
for
So
limited people.
overall, you would agree with me? You think that Weck gets a little bit extra hate than is warranted?
Yeah, it's like you've got to hate him in the sophisticated way. Not
Like,
just be
do you
like,
follow
oh,
Anderson?
he does weird stuff. But yeah, I don't like that because it's like,
I know.
oh
I
yeah, you're
stopped
kind of
following
just like
him.
making fun of the homeless man in the car park.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I stopped following him just because
No,
I'm
no, as in
dictated.
like it's the equivalent of that. Be like,
Oh,
look at that
yeah.
crazy guy. It's like, well, yeah, he's crazy. Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect? Like,
That's funny. And then let's talk about another person who is a big pariah by you and everybody. I'm sure. I'm sure I'm a little more favorable to him. I don't agree with everything, but my buddy Joel, what is your take on Seedman? He gets thrown in there. I see those three on Andersons all the time, like lumped together. And to me,
uh,
to me, they're a little different. Like to me, the most like the one who gets the most unjustified hate is Weck for sure because I think his stuff isn't so black and white. You know what I mean? His only thing that he really talks is just to let your spine move, which at the end of the day, it's hard
yeah,
to argue with that. Where Joel has some
yeah.
hard stops in what he believes, but a lot of times I don't necessarily know that it's the worst case for some of his clientele. What are your thoughts on Joel? And I mean, I know obviously on this Olympic lifter, you have different takes, but what do you think about the hate that he gets and his approach?
Uh, I moved on from hating Joel Seaman a few years ago because I'm like, well, he's just trying to rage bait everyone. Like, I genuinely think a lot of it's rage
So,
bait.
I mean, sometimes I
But
don't
then
think he
there's this
believes what
other
he's
part
doing.
of it.
But did you see the one where I posted where he's doing the Jesus one, where he's talking about
What was
God made
that?
you? It was one of my scrolling through IGs. He was like, God designed you in a way. Like he was talking about how like it's if you don't move like
It
this, you're
was
gonna be in
from
pain
God, and
because God didn't design
yeah.
you to squat below 90 degrees and stuff. And I comment on that. I was like, Joel, buddy, you're gonna get this is gonna be bad.
Kind of code switching on us as well, because if he'd just gone the religious angle from the start, I think we'd all be more sympathetic. But he kind of went the Mike Israetel angle of like, no, this is science. Like, I have a PhD.
I looked at both of their PhDs. His was better than Mike's. I'll give him that.
Well, do you know about Joel Seaman's brother?
I know his brother. I don't know about him. What's to do with him?
Because you know how I think it's only recently changed. Joel Seaman's page and even his website, there
Yeah, I
was
had his
another
brother
guy
on
in
there.
there.
Yeah.
His brother, though, the exercise bro. So his brother is supposedly like a freaking genius. Like the whole field he's in is like mergers and acquisitions, like buying big companies that aren't being run as efficiently as they could have, refining their systems, making them more profitable, and selling them for multiple millions of
My
dollars
boy
worth and stuff
Homozy
like that.
does
It's
it,
like,
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like he's the big brain behind, and I think that's where all the marketing sort of
Probably.
skills and
Yeah.
ability sort of comes from. So, but yeah, I think not being a full ROM zealot is like pretty base these days. I just don't like how Joel gets there. Um, and that's sort of the only thing. It's like, well, it's refreshing to see someone who's not fully attached to the full ROM thing. Is can I be any more charitable than that? And honest, like, here's the thing: a lot of those freak athletes that he trains, it's like you kind of just need to keep them entertained. I'm not against. I'm not here to say that there's no value in good S and C for freak athletes. But like, freak athletes are freak athletes no matter what you do with them. So again, like, hey, low ROM,
That's kind of why I give him
keep it
what I
safe.
like about what he does is he does have these high level freak athletes, and it's I do think that a lot of the injuries I don't think it's because of the power off press like David Weck says. He says the power off press is why everyone's injured now. I don't think that's it. I think because athletes are compressed the fuck out of themselves trying to do stuff that they can't do that efficiently. They don't do anything to counterbalance that, and then they go play a sport where they need to have available space to orient dynamically and do things. And then if you get fucking hit and you've got no joint space, you got no give, like yeah, or you're not even hit, but non-contact if you just move funky. So it's like I think that he's playing a safe route, like his people aren't going to get fucking hurt. Like that's very therapeutic. Like if I have somebody coming back from injury, I train them almost exactly like that. 90 degrees, I keep them there. And realistically, most of my stuff, I'm like not much past that. Like when I really try to break it down, it's like, yeah, sometimes I do, but it's like not a ton. Like I would prefer that over RP strength for the average like person that just wants to like have good muscles and look good, you know. Like as far as the one thing we were talking about is like I was asking like what about if you were to do like a goblet squat, would you be okay going below 90? He's like no. And I'm like well, I think you can maintain expansion and do things that are okay. You know, I don't think automatically everything goes to hell if you just hit below 90. I just think a lot of people can't manage a heavy load without compressing too much if they do that. So I think, and I think he believes it shit 100%. Like I don't think he doesn't believe it. Like whenever I talk to him, whenever you know he made his college dissertation about this, like he like he really thinks that this is the gold standard.
Might have
And
to check it out.
yeah, you know his whole thing was on the eccentric isometrics. That's what his whole thesis was on, pretty much.
What the hell is that?
That's where like you go slow and then you hold for 2 seconds, like 4 seconds down,
Oh,
2 seconds
okay,
hold.
okay,
So a little bit of
okay.
pap he was saying, but in general,
Yeah.
like I actually I like Joel a lot. I mean, I do think some of us, I do think he purposely pisses people
Have you
off.
had him on?
Yeah, I had him on. He was one of my first
Okay.
ones. He's supposed to come back on. He's supposed to come back on this month. But we kind of talked shit about Mike in that one because you know he's got a lot of beef. Mike always shit all over him. But the other thing is too, like Joel's kind of jacked for a little fucking nerd who doesn't juice. You
Dude,
know?
he's stacked. I noticed that about a year ago. I mean, you know the heartbreaking one for me. And again, this is another reason why just trying to get bigger and stronger. Squat use a bit of a weapon too.
I fucking don't watch that dude on
So
anything.
squat use, not Jack, doesn't have big arms, but he can clean and jerk 150 kilos.
Yeah, well, I mean
That's solid, man. Like
yeah.
that is solid. And like I said, like it's like you're a big strong guy. You can talk shit about that because in your space, I would say you do the equivalent of more, but I don't. Like my max clean and jerk's 140 kilos. I'm trying to push above 150, and then I'll be like, yeah, fucking Aaron Horschig,
Dude, I went
terrible at
to
lifting.
tell me if this is wild. I went to high school with a kid. I forgot what he cleaned in high school, but he was a fucking freak of nature. I actually talked about him in one of my videos. And then we went to Texas Tech together. He broke the freshman clean record of 420 fucking pounds. And he had no technique. And, like just fucking just and he was a wide eye age, like we're talking about just throwing that fucking up there. Like that's pretty impressive, right? I don't know clean numbers, but that I mean breaking the school records is not
No, no, that's crazy, man. Like, and that's again a big part of why I want to get stronger. There's just way too many high school kids in the US that can clean and jerk my max, and I'm just like, I can't exist as an authority in this field being that weak of a dog. Like, if the things I say work, it's like we've got to put them to work, you know.
what do
You
you think
don't
about
have to, but like I'm becoming more like that. It's like if it was that easy, just do it. No, not that you're saying it's that easy, but like if you understand it so well and
yeah,
you
exactly.
supposedly have a passion for it, it's like, well, show us, you know.
Yeah, exactly. No, what do you think about his the more dynamic stuff he does? You ever watch him doing like the plyos the way he does them or stuff?
Wait, who's this? Joel Seedman?
Joel, yeah.
I haven't really seen him. All the stuff I've seen from him has been weight room. Should I be looking on YouTube or
I
is
know
he
it's on his
just
IG. I mean, he just started his
in
YouTube,
my
but
feed?
he's really big, and I think maybe Nadi's the same way. He's really big on like
I've never seen Nowdy coach players either. It's always cable twirlies or like weird shit with the
I
cable.
haven't heard him. I heard someone talking about this that was coached by him, so maybe that's one thing I know. But you know, he's really big on landing, like he likes jumping through IR, like landing with the right foot contacts, like not orienting all crazy. Which I guess for an athlete, there's some value in that because you're just giving them more options to orient however the fuck they need to in game day situations. Like the more space and more relative motion you have available, the more shit you can sequence together and create force with. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I always like how he with his athletes, he really keeps them in good spots. Like if they're fucking NFL players, you don't want to fucking put a lot of wear and tear on them. He does a lot of the
Oh,
neck stuff
imagine that.
too, which I guess makes sense for the NFL players.
Yeah. No, yeah, I always think about that. Just you see every now and then LeBron's squat will sort of
Dude,
blow
his
up the
deadlift
internet, or
is
like recently the deadlift. I love that. I loved that. I love it as well because it just like it attacks your identity as an S&C coach because you want to believe you're like, no, they need me and they need my skill set if they're going to be the best at what they do. It's like they don't.
yeah.
You're
But
there to keep them entertained. Shit people need high quality S&C. It's the
yeah.
bad athletes that could actually reach the new level if you give them some high quality strength and conditioning. But LeBron, and again, I think about that. How many, whether it's his squat or whether it's his deadlift below, actually, here's how we're going to squat and we're going to go full ROM. And then, like, then all of a sudden he gets a little bit of knee pain and he's just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. It's like, yeah, as S&C coaches, we're really just trying our best to not get in the way. If you want
Yeah.
to run the show, it's like go work with average athletes.
Yeah.
Then you can be the star, be like, look, I made you run a meter faster a second. Like that's amazing. Never going to do that for a freak athlete, you know? Just try to not injure them.
And one thing that I do that I don't think a lot of people do for whatever reason, you maybe you don't either, is like I give athletes more credit than a lot of people. I know they're freak athletes, but I also think they're very in tune with their body. And I think they can tell, most of them can tell if they're fucking wasting their time doing some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like okay, like I feel this where I'm supposed to feel it. I can feel things going on. Like okay, I can push myself harder maybe if I do this, but I feel like they kind of know. They know their feedback in general. Like to think that they are just so fucking clueless and just going with like somebody because he posts some weird shit on Instagram. Like obviously, I think they feel some benefits to it. Like they probably came from a way more compressive style of training, and like maybe this is where they need now.
You have to respect it because of the allostatic response to stress. This is like a big lesson I learned when I flared up my mum's back. Because I was like, no, deadlifts are good for you. And yeah, we progressed at what I thought was like a reasonable rate. But then yeah, it just really flared up her back. And it was the combination of again, deadlifts aren't bad for your back, but it was mum's skepticism around it. And obviously deadlifting would put her in a bad mood. And it's going to be the same, if not more, with high level
Yeah,
athletes because high level athletes, they
the
believe in the
brains are very
power of will
powerful.
and mindset. So, like, they have some of the most powerful brains out there. And if they're like, I don't like the way that this feels, in your head, you're like, well, no, based on the joint angles and like your limb length, it's like, no, this is the optimal split squat setup. But it's like, if the way we feel about a stress, the way we perceive that stress, it's going to have a huge impact on the way that we process it. And it's like, if something bad happens, and you've been pushing them into a setup that they don't believe in as much versus something where they were like, no, hell yeah, I
Yeah,
want to do this. And even if you get a bad outcome, it's so much less bad. There's still so much trust
they're not gonna
and
blame you as
room for
much. Yeah,
collaboration. Whereas as a coach, you never want to be this guru of like, no. What you think doesn't matter. Because things at a certain point, you're not going to get the desired outcome. And the trust is going to be gone because you acted like this all-knowing being. Versus if you're a little bit more humble and be like, look, I have this range of what I consider good enough. This is one of my core coaching principles. We have the bandwidth of good enough because anyone with skin in the game for long enough knows that there's multiple ways to train anything
yeah.
here. And then it's their preference that guides where I land ultimately. Like you can't find optimal. There's no optimal at a population level. It all comes down to the individual, their thoughts, beliefs, expectations, and preferences. You marry it up with that. That's how you get optimal every time. And it does improve outcomes once you have this understanding of what allostasis is.
Yeah, dude, I think that's the problem, like we said, with some of the PRI stuff. Like some of this is you
Yeah.
start to like I had a guy today, he's my boy. I've been training for years and they see me evolve and like that's one thing they build trust because they can see me like my skill set changing. And one thing is too, like some people when they learn like a new skill set, like they throw away everything they've learned before that and like this is their new toy and
I
that's it. I
hate
think
those people.
that's terrible. Like a lot of times you don't know that new thing good enough to make it good, even though it is better maybe. So I had to tell him today. I was like, hey, like he's just got a lot. He's fucked up. He's got pectus really bad. He's fucking 6'7", rode his for fucking 8 years. Fucking very like
Yeah,
unilateral.
so he'd watch a PRI video and it'd just sound like he's hearing his obituary. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I've got
So
six
like
weeks to live.
he's so in his head today, and like he's telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, look, buddy, like your table tests are good for you right now. These are good. Like, let's just put some fucking force on your body. Like, you'll be good. And like, sure enough, like after we started fucking lifting, he's like, oh, that guy. Like, sometimes you don't get the delicate shift with the like breathe and reach. Sometimes you do gotta load. What I had him do is we had to do the split squat hold with a yielding reach on the left side, turn the pelvis, get that to shift back and expand. Then all of a sudden he's like, fuck that. Fix this low back shit I've been feeling on my left side that I fucking couldn't get rid of doing anything else. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like you can't like you can hold on to stuff and you can over focus on it for sure, especially with this kind of PRI and expansion compression shit. And I'm really trying to like not have people do that because I did that, and I think almost you almost need to a degree to know what's
Yeah.
necessary. Like now, I can do like three drills for the most complex person, where before I maybe would have done like eight. You know?
I like that you brought that up though, because it's something that they say a lot in the breathing circles, that I generally agree with is you don't always want to be fighting tension with tension.
Yeah,
Like to get true expansion, it's about letting go of the
yeah,
tension, not just tensing some other part of your
yeah,
body. But for really strong people and really jacked people, I think like tension is just where they live and it's sort of meeting them where they're at. Again, doing a 90-90 breathing drill and putting some not heavy dumbbells in their hands, but just giving them 10
yeah,
kilos to push their scaps back to the ground. It's like, no, it's like keep them away. Like just
yeah.
that a little bit of tension for them is the equivalent of relaxation.
Yeah,
Almost, it feels like.
yeah, dude. I mean, that's my go-to move, and like for that, that's where something I'll play into the asym. Like today, I had a guy who I couldn't get the left side of you, and I just propped his left foot on the wall, like heel elevation, and the other one wasn't. That made the change fucking perfect. That like got it to stick, and I'm just like, man, yeah. Like there's so many tools when you understand like what's going on a kind of a bigger scale. But I want to switch it up real quick. Something that I'm kind of interested in. And I don't know if anyone else is, but it's something I ask a lot of you guys. And it's kind of like, well, you're into music. What did you play? Did you play an instrument? What did you play?
Play bass. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I really want to get my guitar back, and I played guitar for quite a while, and I just got out
Oh,
of it.
music's the best, man. Like it still shapes so much of my exercise philosophy. Like again, like shapes the way I view exercise science. Like I look at every sort of thing as equal parts art and science, and
Yeah.
music was just like such a good lens for then appreciating that and then applying it to
Well,
fitness.
yeah, I think about like there's a lot of exploration in music, and I feel like people don't explore their bodies, and that's something that
No,
most people
yeah,
should do.
100%. You need to play some jazz. It's all
Yeah.
valid
Yeah.
forms of self-expression. I don't really jive with coaches who can't play an instrument or cook or do something creative.
Oh yeah. That's about the only two things I can do. So,
Yeah.
I
No,
do
so
all the
they're
cooking.
really important. They're really important. It's a bit of a red flag for me when someone's just like pure fitness head.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously you know Rick Rubin. I mean, I love Rick
Yep.
Rubin. I think I love listening to him talk. He's got such insightful stuff, and I like listening to him talk about like the process of the different artists. Because he's seen it all, and
Yep.
it's so different. And I'm not comparing you or any like fitness influencer to these generational talents that he's worked with, but it's so interesting to see like how like Eminem comes up with a flow versus Jay-Z versus like Lil Wayne. They have totally different styles, like Eminem writes everything down. He basically has it formed before he even does it. Jay-Z just fucking like has it like in his head and like does it all and like freestyles it right there. And like Lil Wayne like waits for the beat to come around. He like puts it together as it goes. And like what I wonder is like the creative process for like different influencers because like this is new for me. Like I said, I don't make my money doing this.
I like this topic. I really
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this
and you're a good
topic.
one to talk to about it too because I think you have some good insights on it. I've heard you talk about, but like, what is your process if you were to like say, do you like so your money now isn't like 100% like you don't have to like put content out. You have reoccurring money, right? So it's not like you have to be a
Hmm.
content creator and make a certain amount every week, like do it exactly this way. So like for somebody like you, like when you do put out like more long form stuff, are you doing much long form now?
Yeah, about once a week I'll do a YouTube
Yeah,
video.
like
Sort of fallen off the wagon with it
like
this week,
what
but I'll
is
be
your
back.
process for that? Like, are you thinking of like script at all? Or do you have like a sequence of it? Like, we'll start with that, but I have a few questions. I'm just curious.
No, at this stage, I will have the theme and then I might have like 5 bullet points
Yeah.
just because I've had a few times where I've just had the theme and then I've sat down to edit and be like, man, there was like a real central point that I didn't even make. And like, now I'm like, do I just put this out? Do I go in and re record it? So that's kind of the level of structure where I'm at. I'm starting to wonder if that's laziness on my part because just some of the videos that I've noticed doing really well in the algorithm is like, oh, obviously my bias gets really excited when I see the more off the cuff style blowing up. But then I wonder because if that's my bias, yeah, am I limiting myself? Because I know there would be a higher level of production if I was scripting. Also, I don't enjoy editing my long
Yeah.
form stuff. It's a bit of a chore for me, and
Sucks.
it's something I've wanted to outsource. But because I'm so off
It's
the cuff
hard.
and
Yeah.
rambly when I film my long form, I can't
Same here,
send some
right?
guy
Obviously, I
an
can't send
hour
my
and a
shit to
half of
somebody.
footage and then expect him to understand the theme of the video. Whereas if I was scripting it, then I'd be like, well, here's the script to the video.
Yeah.
Here's all the clips. Edit anything out that's not the script. So that might be something that I sort of go into in the future. But at this stage, it's all sort of off the cuff. And again, it's not. There's no real plan. It is just buying into that authenticity thing. If I talk about things that I'm ultimately authentically passionate about, I'm going to end up revolving around the same 4 to 5 core topics or core pillars. And that's ultimately how a brand emerges. Like,
Are
again,
you,
it's, yeah.
I was going to say, do you ever go outside those topics? Are you going to be one of these, you have a philosophy channel?
No, yeah. So you will go out of those topics occasionally, but that's more just for the odd post, or it might be in an experimentative sort of way. It's like I'm just passionate about this topic today. This thought occurred to me, and then you sort of see what the feedback is like. It's a combination of what you're passionate about talking about, but then also what does well on the algorithm. And sometimes you're like, no, I'm just saying this because I want to get it off my chest. And then other posts are more sort of curated for the algorithm. I think it's like playing both sides of that is an important part of it. Like you're gonna be doing it a long time, and you have to be consistent. So if it's not authentic, like you'll end up resenting it so much.
Yeah.
But then there has to be like a little bit of poise and like thought put into it that I think can just get you so much more value for the time that you put in.
Like, are you like from idea to creation? Like, do you have like a set days that you're like going to film, or do you film every day? Like, or do you just wait till you can actually get inspired to do it and have the motivation?
So I no, I try to be creative every single day. And but that is honestly more short form content. Coming up with just a little hot take for Instagram, that's sort of the bare minimum. And I think that that's really important. I think that so many fitness people are absolutely cooked, not just with their creative process, but with their whole identity and belief system around creativity. I think like it's at the core of this field where like we diss people by calling them a content creator instead of a coach. And that's why I embrace the people are, oh, you're just an influencer, you're just a content creator. I'm like, I identify as a content creator. Like I embrace that aspect of what I do. Because a lot of people don't look at it even as creative. It's like, oh, you're just sharing an
Yeah.
opinion. But it's like, no, that's its own form of being creative. Or even coaches be like, I'm not a creative person. It's like, that's bullshit. Everyone is born a creative person. It's life and society that squeezes the creativity out of you. You would know this because you have kids. And I'm sure that you are constantly shocked at how creative they are. Like, you leave them alone in a room with nothing, they
Yeah,
get bored after 2 seconds, and then they're just coming
that's
up
a
with the craziest
good point.
games, or like they'll say the stupidest idea you've ever heard in your life. And like, that's all creativity. But then over the course of your life, people are like, shut up, learn this,
Yeah.
fucking, why are you bothering with all that sort of stuff? But then some of us stay in touch with it through playing music, or like I said, even cooking a dish and not going purely off the recipe
Yeah.
and just looking in ice cabinet and be like, what's something I could sort of add into that? Like, that's a creative pursuit as well. And so, having that identity that you're actually a creative person and then acting accordingly from that, I think that there's other constraints as well, because like I look at people who are busier than I am. So I deliberately stay less busy than I could be as well. I'm a very lifestyle
Oh, that'd be
oriented
so
business.
nice.
Um, but that also helps me stay creative because
Yeah.
it's not in Maslow's hierarchy of needs to be
Yeah.
creative. Creativity comes from a place of abundance. And this is why it's tough, because when people are really broke and or they've just got like a lot of busy stuff with their family and stuff like that, I have a lot of compassion for them, because I'm like, man, I wouldn't be able to come up with creative ideas to talk shit about fitness on the internet if I had screaming kids, if I was worried about a bill that was coming up. Oh fuck, if this client leaves me, I'm screwed. When I was struggling in my business, I found it really hard to show up creatively, because again, you've just got bigger problems. Whereas once you get to a certain point where you're a little bit more steady, then it's about creating space in your life for the creativity to emerge. Because again, where my creativity emerges is when I can create the space to sit there, scratch my nuts, and stare at a wall.
Yeah.
And that's a privilege. If you run
And
off
people
your
don't
feet
do
and if you're
that. I mean,
struggling,
that's one thing too, right?
no,
People just look at their phone now.
no, yeah, you got to be doing something productive. Go listen to an educational podcast. Go fucking do
Yeah.
the one part of hustle culture that I think is really good for stimulating the creative process is journaling. Because
Yeah.
journaling, creative writing, they overlap. Like journaling was a big part of how I got consistent initially with the creative process. It just get all the head noise out. And then usually once you've got all the head noise out, you'd be like, there's my creative thought on exercise for the day. I'm going to share this opinion on it. So that aspect of hustle culture, I think, does help stimulate the creative process. But yeah, it's like it's abundance, it's finding time for calm. I think there's like a lot of environmental impact on it. Like for me, a lot of the time, if I'm like, fuck, like need a piece of content for today, I'll just go have a shower.
Yeah.
It's just like
That's
it's my
the
thinking
spot.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of nice when I'm out in the surf, bobbing around. A lot of the time, I'll have all my best ideas for content. Sometimes I'll have the GoPro out there so I can record a quick
Yeah.
memo on it. Often I don't, and I've forgotten what the
Yeah, that's the
idea is
worst. Yeah.
by the time I come in. But I kind of like that because I'm like, that's just one for the universe. But yeah, like I'm really grateful because I've had all these experiences through my life, enjoying cooking, playing in bands with my mates. So I've never fully lost my umbilical cord, if you
Yeah.
will, to the creative process and just like identifying as a creative person. But so your classic fitness head, again, a lot of them are just coming at it from the incorrect perspective, maybe not even identifying that there is this like creative soul inside them because it's in everybody, and that it is it's a muscle. The same way you meet people and you're like, yeah, if you just, if you just do this,
Exactly. Yeah.
it adapts and it gets bigger. A lot of people can't visualize or embody this idea that's like, yes, there is a creative muscle. Like there are people who write pop songs like it's their 9 to 5, and they
Wow.
have a studio, they have an environment that they walk into, and they're like, it's 9 o'clock. I'll walk into the room where I write songs and I'll write a song because it's what I do,
Yeah.
because I am a fundamentally
That,
creative
that was
person.
that
The
was
same way
Eminem
you
style.
walk into the
Yeah.
gym and you're like, I'm gonna grow my biceps because I'm a fucking bodybuilder and I'm in the place where biceps grow. Like it's the same thing.
That was exactly what Eminem said. He said he writes all day, every day, and 95% of what he writes is not going to be used for shit, but he's like keeps that creative tap flowing, which I find like
Momentum.
what I find is like once you get it going, like sometimes it's good to like fucking run with it. Like, like I used to be more of like, okay, I'm gonna pace myself. I'll do this day. Like, what I've realized now is like, especially if you're doing, especially depending on what you're doing, like some of my shit is like I have to be in the right headspace mentally, like, because it's really technical shit. And then some of my shit, if I'm just fucking around, like, I have to be in a mood to feel funny. You know what I mean? Like, I can never be a stand up who just fucking has to do it for a job. And I've done stand up, and I
Yeah.
did it once, and I was supposed to do it again, and I couldn't fucking do it. Like, it had to be in that right spot. So what I found is like when
Yeah.
you are there, at least for me as a content creator, I fucking run with it. I mean, I might be going till 1 or 2 in the morning. I normally am in bed by 10, and I'll fucking wake up exhausted. But I know if I didn't do it that night, I might not feel that way again for a week or 2 weeks, and like I just don't want to waste that kind of high, that kind of energy rush because I do have a lot of in-person stuff, and I think that some people make it their job because they have to, but I think if I did that, I don't think my content would be very good in that sense. Like, do you ever like post stuff if you don't feel like you're like fuck, I gotta make something today, or do you wait till you're just in a little better
Yeah.
headspace?
Up until about 6 months ago, I had just been on a religious posting streak of I'm going to post something every single day. And that sort of went for like over 3 years. And again, a big part of that was like, it's not that hard. And if you think it's hard, you suck at content creation or you suck at the creative process.
We're just
It
busy as fuck. We got
takes
kids and other jobs.
Yes, yes, sorry. Okay, yeah, it is all that. No, no, sorry. Again, trying to be more compassionate. And like I said, depends who I'm talking to. But yeah, a lot of people, it's just like, no, like it's not that hard to just come up with a couple of sentences and put it over some footage of you training. It's like that can do really well on the algorithm, and
Yeah.
and often like all you need is a couple of little sentences, because people are like, how helpful is that? Like just a little quip, a little hot take on fitness. It's like
Yeah.
that can be tremendously impactful. There's
Look,
a couple of sentences that people have posted as content. For example, people like Pat Davidson and stuff
yeah.
like that, where I'm like, oh right, oh wow, I really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't take long, as much as I respect people who put a lot of time into their content, and there's value in that as well. There's also value in just being able to come up with just a little short hot take,
Yeah.
package it up in about 10 minutes, just so it doesn't look like a dog's breakfast to the point where the algorithm completely rejects
Yeah.
it. It shouldn't take that much effort. Whereas again, a lot of people, they hear like, oh yeah, post every day, and they're like, but that's like 7 hours of my week. I'm like, no, you need to get more efficient.
Yeah.
Like you need to get more efficient and dialed in. Again, everyone's facing different constraints there. I understand we don't all have the same 24 hours in a day. And like I said, because of that, I've oriented a lot of my business structure around it. Again, I've told coaches who I've mentored, you're doing 30 sessions a week. What are your bills? Are they covered? Are you saving money on top of that? Cool. Don't go to 40 clients,
Yeah.
because it's that dedicating that time to the creative process, that is what will ultimately grow and scale your business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not fucking squeezing in as many sessions or as many clients as possible, and then like you close that last check-in for the day and you're like, oh, finally we're done. It's like, no, you need to do all your check-ins, and then you still need to have energy to share your opinions about things if you want to grow your business as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's easy to get stuck in the grind when you are making money. Like even like my clients pay hundreds of bucks, like 185 to 200 bucks an
Yeah.
hour, and it's like that's a good hourly for a trainer, but it's like at the end I'm not gonna be able to scale the same if I were to be burnt out. And so it's been so cool now that I don't own my gym, I don't have to worry about getting new clients.
And
Just keep,
house prices in LA, they're
dude.
not
Well,
good.
I'm in Newport Beach. The median price is 4 million, 4 million. 4 fucking million with 30 with a third of it down at least because all these fucking Chinese
Really?
come and buy it that cash. Yeah, it's why I rent.
Damn.
I'll never own over here. I could go
Yeah.
inland and own, but I like living close to work. But man, this has been
Yeah,
cool.
you want
Let's
to live near the ocean.
yeah, I want to be right next. I can see the mountains and the ocean. Let's fuck around for a second if you got some time real quick. Let's
Yeah, yeah, I got time.
what do we got? Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can share this. All right. I suck at this. Let me know if I fuck something up. All right.
Yep. Got
Let's look at some mugshawtys.
it. All right, lucky I'm single.
Yeah, so what happened? You had a girlfriend for a second and then that went away? Or?
Yeah, it was a real whirlwind romance. It was about 8 weeks ago, and then like 2 weeks into the relationship, we went on a trip to Bali, and I knew what we were doing because a lot of people are like, man, you really want to go on an overseas holiday with your girlfriend that you've known for like 2 weeks? I mean, sorry, we went to school together, but obviously reconnected 15 odd years later, and I was like, yeah, I kind of just want to like just steer this thing into the fire, and like if it, I knew if we'd either end the relationship on that trip or come back and be like, fuck, let's get married. Ended up ending the relationship halfway through the trip.
Halfway
And that was
through.
yeah.
That's funny. Was there something you that surprised you that you didn't expect?
Yeah, she was just really angry all the time. And like, I can't be with someone who's angry at me every day. And it got to the point where I was like, hey, like, like we can go home early if you want, get you back into routine. Like trying to be a compassionate, supportive person, but then she blew up at me even when I was doing my little welfare checks. I was like, oh, like I'm kind of done. Hey,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just,
don't yeah, just don't have a kid and then get stuck in that. I'm just joking.
yeah.
Love you, baby. No, she's justified. I don't do as much as I should with a kid. I work.
Well, no, but once you've been through enough together, then you can handle some shit. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was like I was like, I need a honeymoon phase. I'm like, if we
yeah.
go through
You
like
didn't even
6 weeks of a honeymoon phase, like
get a
it's
2 week
all
honeymoon
downhill from there.
phase.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. Then no one will get mad about this. So I haven't looked at this. This is funny. Like they make money on this. That's hilarious that someone did this,
Oh,
and
it's
this is how they
one
make a
of the
living.
best accounts.
She's let's see what's up. So I haven't looked at this at all. Right off the bat, I like the nose and I like the eyes a lot. DWI though. Fuck.
I really don't like drunk driving. Actually, was
Me
this
neither.
an opinion you had as
Yeah,
well?
that was
Yeah,
that fucking I hated it. Like what
I
would be
can't support that, but if I didn't know it about her, oh.
and I don't like any tattoos on the front of the chest either. I really hate that shit. Like I don't know why. Like I love tattoos. My girl's inked up, but anything on like from here to like the waist, I don't like. I don't know why. That's like a deal breaker for me.
Not a deal breaker for me. I'm kind of with you. I feel so bad because like I'm pretty attracted to actually no, sorry, I've dated heaps of women with tattoos, but if I could design it, yes, it would
Yeah.
be no tattoos. I feel bad though because I've got ink now.
Oh
Feel
yeah,
like a
but
hypocrite.
you're a dude. Yeah. Is there like a crime that would make you not be willing to date a girl? Like if a girl had two DUIs, I don't think I'm seeing her. One, if you're like one shit can happen. But two, I don't think I'm gonna be.
How sorry is she? What's how is she talking about it? Does she like bring up like, hey, I'm really not proud of this
Man, we
part
have
of
such
me?
different priorities. I'm thinking like, how hot is she? Like,
No, no, because
how
like
fat is
that's
her
yeah,
ass?
like I want to say no, but I think I might
Like I'm
still
basing
take a
mine on
no.
how fat her ass is. You're basing it on how apologetic she is for being a wreck, to being a menace to society.
No,
So,
but
a
this is
lot better
like
than
for if
me.
I'm willing to have a long-term relationship with
Yeah,
her.
well, like yeah, but no accident, just a DUI for fucking taking a little too much, little extra drink than she should have had.
No, you can grow from that.
Yeah, like, I'm okay with one. If it become two,
Yeah.
then I'm fucking
Two,
out. Like
you're done. No.
yeah, I'm not down at all. But this chick's actually pretty smoking. She's pretty like face wise. She looks like that kind of that Anna that actress. You know what I'm talking about? She's in fucking everything. She was in that chess movie. She's in I don't know why that's what I'm thinking of the
Oh,
one on
I'm so bad with
Netflix.
actor names. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? She kind of looks like her in the face a little bit. Who else we got? What is this? Looks like a fucking mess here. She got fucking like a knife on her fucking face. Public intoxication. She's fucking hammered there. But this girl looks like the meth head from Orange is the New Black. I'm not feeling this. No.
No, not my thing. Yeah,
Let's
some
see.
of it's just like, well, this lady is not morbidly obese as a
Right?
criminal.
Right? This girl looks like she's got some contrition. What does she do? Communicating threats. Like I want them to be more detailed with some of this because that could be like a
Yeah.
cool thing, or it could really be not cool, depending on how this is going. Communicate threats to who? To like in what manner? How is that even? Is that a charge? Like what is that even fucking? How do you get
Might be
arrested?
sort of one of those new charges that they're coming up with.
Yeah, she's definitely got some of the TMCC stuff from PRI with her eyes all fucking
You
wonky.
like that? Weren't you saying you're into that?
I like there to be like something a little bit wrong that girls can be a little neurotic about. Like I'm into noses. I don't know why I like big noses. I follow big nose ladies on
Yeah.
Reddit. Like like not wide noses. I don't like that, but like a little slopey. I think that's
No,
cool.
because if you're hot, like something weird becomes a quirk.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's those people like I always say like a lot of it are the women that other straight women sort of point to be like, isn't this lady the hottest thing you've ever seen? Like Bella Hadid sort of thing,
Yeah.
where it's like, no, like I
No.
need some character.
Yeah. I think
This
for
lady's
me,
not my type of character though. Reminds me of Iggy Azalea.
no, I don't like blondes or white girls that much, but I like her eyes. No, like I talked about, whenever I get on trend, which I probably will never get on trend again, but that's when I like fat white girls, and they're only white. Like I don't like thick girls from any other race. They have to be thick white, like blonde or redheads. That's it. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
See, I don't get to experience that hormonal shift. I would like to.
Yeah, like for me, like I don't. It's probably like, like I think my shit was already really blasted high. I think I have trend producing naturally a little bit, so put me a little over the edge. Like I don't see a lot of good things looking at. Oh, this is that chick
Yeah,
the
Mug's short is
stripper
falling off.
who got the 2 counts of attempted murder for shooting the at the fight at the strip club.
Oh hell yeah.
Like that's a big plus. Okay, I kind of am into like really chola chicks. Like my girl. No, I'm just joking. She's not super. She's a little chilly. She's a little bit aggravated. We're blocking. I can't see. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
The
So
deadly weapon.
it also depends on what's the weapon, because you can qualify anything as a deadly weapon, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like she actually
Oh
got a.
really?
Yeah, I mean, you can call a deadly weapon with like a golf club, or like if you throw a glass at somebody, you can get you can get charged with a deadly weapon if it's the right if it's a fake mug, I guess.
I
And
get
who's
too
it against?
paranoid
Yeah,
with violent women. Like even if they've just like tried to hit you without a weapon, I worry about like then when you get them mad if they're gonna go for a weapon. So
have
that
you
really
ever
bugs me
been
out.
in a violent relationship with a girl?
Yeah, yeah, been on the receiving end of some domestic abuse. And like I said, like, because I used to make fun of dudes who got beat up by their. No, I didn't get beat up because she was tiny. But like, and that's the thing. You're like, no, this is fine. Like, I can let this little 50-kilo human punch me. But then it's more the paranoia because you're like, if I piss them off, are they gonna like grab a knife? Like, because all of a sudden you don't know where their boundary is. Because I just sort of make this assumption about people that they're not gonna smack
Stab
their
you in your
spouse.
sleep. Yeah.
Whereas then all of a sudden when that's off the table, you're like, oh right, like where's your limit? Like.
Uh, yeah, I had a girl who like was
Oh, this
fucking
is fucking
this chick looks like she's riding high. What is this?
yeah.
With a high blood alcohol. I want to know what it is. I mean,
Ah, damn. Yeah. Unfortunate.
I'm not into that at all. What do we got? Oh,
That's the thing. All the hottest ones are DUIs.
here we go. Lazy eye. Third degree felony,
Yeah.
criminal mischief, and criminal trespass. Turned herself in. I got arrested for criminal trespass, so I can identify with her. I like it. I like the lazy eye.
Huge points for turning herself in as well, like taking accountability for things.
Yeah.
And hot as fuck.
In third degree, that's not first. So I could forgive her. I do, like I said, I like the lazy eye. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. Some of these comments are always the fucking funniest thing to read too. Anything else that really stands out? Tell me if you see one that you like. You
Oh,
like
this
blondes?
row. This row of blondes is fire.
I'm not into blondes
Or
at
is
all.
it
That dirty
cheerleader
one on the
effect?
end looks good. Why is she so filthy?
Amazing.
Battery,
What's
touch or
that?
strike.
Oh,
So it depends on who it is too. Like, is she like fighting her man? Usually they say domestic if it's the dude. So maybe she's just a scrappy bitch. Some chick step to her. I like I've had girls who've like been kind of aggressive, and I've had to like fucking fight dudes, and I don't want that. So I don't know if that's her thing. Like that's the worst fucking thing in the world. Against some fucking
no, but I also enjoy a woman who's willing to fight another woman because
yeah
I've been in situations where you're like, I can't physically touch this person, but if I had
yeah.
a strong and willing female here,
Yeah. My girl would do that. She's asked me if she's needed to before. Do you want me to fuck her up for you since you can't fight him? Marijuana possession. Where are you at? Come to California. Like, come on.
I like that. Yeah, yeah, hell
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't. I
Yeah,
like.
what in the US? What? So she's in Florida or
She's in
Texas?
Texas. Yeah, which is crazy, dude. I got arrested in Texas for having 2 ounces of weed on me, and it was like they could have pushed me to a felony charge, and it was shitty weed. That was like swag shit. That was like $60 worth of weed on me. It was like,
Meanwhile, if you had like an M60 in the back of your car, they
fucking
would have been like,
dude.
"You're an American hero."
Fucking wild. So this chick is filthy. What is she doing?
Amazing.
Did she just like roll? I like her. I like she doesn't give a fuck. Did she just roll around in the fucking woods? Possession of alcohol under 21. So she's lived a hard life. She doesn't look under 21. She looks like she's gonna age pretty aggressively, I feel like. But maybe she's just
Good for
filthy from
them.
whatever she was doing. What do you think about her?
This is an unnecessarily harsh comment. She doesn't look 35.
Oh, I didn't even see that. No, she doesn't look 35, but I wouldn't think she was under 21 necessarily.
No, she could be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
She looks like
Yeah,
my girl who hit me a lot, actually. I think that's why I don't like blondes anymore. She fucking ruined them for me. Oh, look at
this
this
is
face. I
amazing
like
in the
this.
middle here.
I like
Both
this.
of them. The one to the left as well.
Dude, it's the face. Like that is a I'm sorry face right there. I'm sorry, daddy. That's what I see right
Yeah, I
there.
won't. I won't do it again.
Yeah,
Go back
exactly.
to the one behind it.
Battery touchers. Oh yeah, right here. Oh, this is the
Amazing.
winner. Driving
Driving
without a
without a
license. Oh,
license.
fuck.
Yeah, this is the
Jesus Christ. I'll
perfect
come
girl.
bail you out. Yeah, this
Yeah.
dude, this is mine right here. I love brunettes with light eyes. Like that's if I'm gonna be with a white girl, that's what it has to be. Unless I'm on trend and she's fat as fuck. I'm cool with that. See, there's anything else at all. I mean, that's funny. Like, I wonder how many of these girls are like glad they're on here and how many of them are upset that they're on. See, I like this nose is a little strong. It's a little strong, and she's PI, so no. If that was like not quite as like strong looking, but it could be like ridgy, I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, not quite. Come
It's
on.
a bit of a beak. I
Here we
don't mind the
go.
beak though.
Bam, right here. This is my style.
Oh, really?
Domestic violence, a violent Latina is just, I don't know what it is about my fucking, my brain and my chemistry. I fucking love violent Latinas. Crazy. My girl's never gotten violent with me. She's just violent with words.
So
But
we don't get a crazy amount of Latinas in Australia.
yeah, I was about to ask. You probably get Asians though. There's China's close, right? You have Asians.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of Asian people, a lot of like Italian, Lebanese sort of like Wog chicks don't really want to look at me though. Well, I had my first Wog girlfriend briefly for about a
She was
month.
what?
Italian.
Italian?
Sorry, I probably
Oh,
shouldn't.
yeah. Italians
Wog
can
might
be
be a
okay.
slur.
Yeah. I got
In
one more
Australia,
question.
everyone says it.
No, without
Yeah.
papers. That's not even an insult. You can't insult people that are white. So this was a question they asked on Full Audit's podcast. I'm sure you don't watch that, the bodybuilding one, but I thought it was hilarious. They asked, so if you were, say you're Mormon and you get five wives, okay,
Ah.
and you had to pick, would you rather get five wives from the same ethnicity, or would you get five different ethnicities and like races and
Oh no, what are you doing? Yeah, yeah. There's only one answer. It's different ethnicities.
I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
I think I would do different because
Or would you just go full death by snoo, just five giant Latinas?
I might do Asians.
Oh wow, yeah, nice yellow fever.
Because you can get
No, no, because
different kinds of Asians, right? The Japanese girl is very different than a Thai girl. I don't really like Thai girls, but you know,
in
like
my experience with mixed race relationships, I feel like the girl's always insecure that you fetishize like whatever they are, and when you've got that the really diverse five, you're like, no, no, I just think you're uniquely beautiful, and then it's like,
well, then who would your
there's a
five be? What five races?
oh god,
And then one of the ones they came up with was a redhead. I would
how
go with
specific
redhead.
am I? Oh yeah, I never really had the redhead bug. Like I could go the rest of my life without being in a relationship with another redhead. Uh
You can go all white? You sure you want to go all white? You like some black
no, I
girls?
can't go all white. That
You
raises too many red
neo-Nazi.
flags. Uh, I need an Italian or Lebanese or like something woggy. I realize there's a fair bit of distance between those two countries, but like
They kind of look
something,
alike, yeah.
someone who tans really well. Some
So white girl
Asian,
who tans well,
Japanese.
Japanese?
No, well, getting to the point of like someone who wouldn't have been considered white back in the 70s
Yeah.
or 80s.
They would have gotten shit on and yeah,
Uh,
racist.
then, I mean, girlfriend before that was like half Japanese, half British. That was an amazing combo. So
Dude,
like
any
Japanese
half
looking, but
Asian.
then like pure British accent because the
Uh,
British accent don't like British women like broadly speaking because they just whinge. I think British people like to whinge a lot, but the British accent on women is like sexy as hell. That was a really good combination. I would love a Polynesian woman. I
mm,
feel like
like
Moana
Islander.
vibes. Like yeah, yeah, that's like the sexiest thing ever. Um,
So you got two Asians so far, pretty much. Two kind of Asian-y ones.
I guess technically, yeah. Throw a
Maybe that
classic
makes one.
colonial white girl in there.
What, blonde
Uh,
or what?
no, brunette.
Oh, I thought you were the blondes. Okay.
Never really. No, 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 no. Never really had much of care for blondes. Um,
You got two more,
and then just like two more.
right? Then
No,
you did the white girl, the two half Asians. Oh, the two white. You got the Italian girl. So you got one more.
and the
Yeah.
Italian girl, and then something from West Africa for diversity's
Yeah.
sake.
Like real dark. Like my one of my best friends
Yeah.
married a Nigerian girl. Their wedding was fucking hilarious because he's part from the whitest family you could ever be, and they have
Oh,
their
actually,
green
maybe
garb.
Indian because I want to ride an elephant at my wedding.
Dude, Indian. That's like the one.
Indian
That's
wedding.
the one race I
Indian
haven't.
wedding seems hectic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'd be big on an Indian wedding.
I think I think I'm doing all Asians. No, I guess if I include a redhead, I got to be. I think I would. I guess if I was, I got it. I guess
I
since
mean,
my girl's
there's
Mexican,
still room for like five variants
yeah,
in
I
there.
was about to say. I guess I could include like three different kinds of.
Asia's a big place. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the halves are like I like the full blooded because they know their place a little bit better. But the halves like they tend to be a little slightly more attractive, but they're not quite as submissive. I had a client. She was half Japanese, half Czech. Phew, fuck, dude, she was gorgeous. Like
I mean, that based on the limited amount of knowledge I have of genetics, I feel like that's what you want, right? Just like two things from different corners of the planet
yeah.
overlapping. And then the way it works in my head is they just take each other's strengths and
Yeah, I feel like
combine them.
that's my son, you know. So I'm half Mexican, half white. My son's half Taiwanese, and then me. So he's a fucking stud. He looks good. He's got like all the best from both of us. He looks way better than either of us did when we were kids. Like,
Yeah, see, I need to go out there and get some more diversity in my genetics.
yeah, that's the
I'm
thing.
lost.
America, you got a lot more to choose from. I'm probably not picking a black girl. I fucked a black girl once. Just I'm not racist, but if I'm picking my top five, I don't think I'm putting there. She had a fake ass, a plaster ass actually. I don't mind.
Really?
Yeah, that was before it was like a thing. She had like an implant, and it was like it was weird because you could see it. You could see like the skin moving over. It was not cool. Like the fat implants they do now are way better.
Like, surely they're only getting better at that than
Yeah,
like the
dude, I
initial
see them
ones
all the
from
time now where you wouldn't notice them unless you're like me and you like, something does. You don't have any glute ham tie-in, and your hamstring doesn't match
No,
that.
it's the hamstring. It's the
Yeah,
hamstring.
exactly.
Whenever they've got like stick little legs, and
Yeah,
then there's just this fucking thing sagging over the top of it. It's like
dude.
because that is like such an attractive thing to me. It's like it's the subtle curve of the hamstring
Yeah,
into the
exactly,
front. It's
dude.
like
If I was gonna do five, I'm gonna get. Okay, I'm gonna think about people that I know. I'm gonna get an old hot chick, an old hot chick to be like the mom, like 55, like where I'm at
oh, so there's
55.
even like a family structure.
Yeah, exactly. She can kind of like guide the other women. You got to have one who kind of rules the roost and like creates the tempo, calms everybody down. I know exactly like one of these 55, 60-year-old smoke shows in Newport Beach that had some work done, but not too much that they don't look like they can express themselves. They look more like cat than human. I don't like that. I don't really see that too much anymore. It's gotten better. I'm doing do the half Asian. I'm gonna do my fiery Latina. I'll keep the one I have right now. I'll put her in there so she feels special. Some white redhead and then something spicy on the last one. Like I think you were pretty onto it with the Indian, and that's something that I mean, Indian chicks can be as smoke shows. Like the
Yeah.
like the dudes. I feel like the dudes aren't that can't really equate the same level of hotness as some of the girls can. But yeah, I think that would be it. That's pretty good group. I could work with that.
No, Indian women are yeah, great.
And then I would want the Indian one to do the cooking mainly. I'm into Indian food. I could deal with that. I get some variety.
No, I mean if it's real traditional cooking,
Well,
can you handle that amount of
well, I was about to
spice
say,
and
I think I
intensity?
like watered down white people Indian actually. I don't think I like real Indian.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like the UK like Indian food probably. Oh fuck. Man, well, dude, this was awesome. Thanks for bullshitting with me. And
Oh, mate, there's always heaps good. I love it.
yeah, I appreciate your support, dude. And definitely like what are you working on right now? You got anything coming out?
I'm working on a standalone GPP program. So currently I've got the team training option where it's like, hey, if you like the way I train, you can just train like me, run my exact program. But so that's like a 4.5 day split. Whereas I'm just releasing an ebook that's going to have a little bit on training, the whole training philosophy and each of the qualities individual, but then a 3 day, a 4 day, and a 5 day GPP program. Also, because I know people are feeling a bit oversubscribed. So if you just want something you can buy one time and then have a few different training options and as well as some info on how to customize it and construct your own GPP plan, that's sort of the biggest thing that I'm working on for the rest of the week. Um,
And
that
so
and just
you sell those individually? How do you do those?
yeah, so that'll just be sold through my Shopify as like a PDF ebook sort of download thing.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm.
Whereas my training team is all done through Train Heroic, which I just think for the team training side of things, Train Heroic do it better than anyone else. Like the way they manage the billing for you and the whole
Yeah,
marketplace setup they have, it's amazing to run your training team off of. Yeah.
yeah, cool. And with the GPP stuff, is so they get something like it's downloaded and it's like in sheets or what? How's that work?
It'll just be downloaded as a PDF. The programming sheet will be quite primitive. There'll be like a hyperlink on the exercise name to a narrated tutorial, and then there'll be like set a volume prescription and an intensity prescription. So it'll be pretty primitive in terms of the spreadsheet that it'll be delivered through. But then if you do your training through an app, you'll just be able to plug it into that or
Yeah.
something like that. Then we've also got, if anyone else is interested in learning from me, we've got GPP level one. So if you want to learn all my coaching and training principles and
What
learn
is
how to
that a
put
full
together.
course? Or is that a ebook too?
Yeah, full course. So pre-recorded lectures on programming, plyos, Olympic lifting, minimum effective dose strength training, high speed running, more extended running and conditioning sort of subjects.
So
It's
with
got
something
more
like that,
programming.
do you update that or is like one thing and you're done? I'm always curious how you guys do this.
It will get updated. So we only launched that in December last year. So it's 10 months old at this stage. And I'm just getting to the point where I'm like, just realizing the way I've outlined some of the things has probably shifted a little bit, especially with conditioning. I'm practically a little bit less polarized in my approach lately. But before I do a review of that, I want to knock out the curriculum for GPP level two, which will be going into some more advanced concepts. But GPP level one really just is like just the raw principles that underpin the whole system. But sorry, it's not just pre-recorded content. There's also like 3 live calls a week,
Okay,
community Discord and stuff. So it's like we
that's
can
cool.
discuss the
Three like
application of
three a
it.
week? That's a lot.
Yeah, so being from Australia, my time zones don't line up for people well. And
Uh,
like we've got a couple of hundred coaches in there now. So it's just a good amount where there's enough atmosphere on there, but there's still space to ask a question, like go in depth and stuff. It's really really fun. I'm really enjoying that setup. Whereas I used to have the mentorship, which was intake based, 8 weeks, 2 calls a week, but then you'd be out after 8 weeks, and I'd deliver all the educational lectures like live. Whereas
yeah.
now I'm like, no, just
Hard.
record the lectures, have that evergreen so people can do it
Yeah.
self paced, and then just have people in there for
Cool.
life. So for years and years and years, or for one payment, you can keep coming back and asking questions about the application of this stuff. And obviously, then
So
as
they
well,
do
they
they get to
get
do the
access to
calls
all
like
the
whenever they
videos.
want, like continuously, or is that some?
Yeah, whenever they
That's
want.
cool.
So we've got one on tonight at 6 p.m. We've got one Sunday at 8 a.m. And then there's another one Tuesday at 9 a.m. I might even add a fourth, honestly. Like the more people we get in there,
Yeah.
just sort of figuring out the times that aren't available for people. Like, all right, let's stick a call there. Anytime I can get a bunch of people who've been through my coursework to then hop on a call and ask questions, like that's such a treat for me. So like,
Yeah.
if I was doing that for 10 hours a week, just getting asked, like, why do you think this about plyos? Why do you think this about the Olympic lifts? Like, that's all. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, that's cool. How
Um,
long did it take you to come up with it originally? Like to actually put it from idea to being out? Well, not like idea in your head, but actually working on it.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was a good 3 months. Three
Okay.
months of just
Yeah.
like living in a
And
dark
you're doing it
cave,
like a
not doing
lot. You're
much
putting a lot of
else.
time in there.
But yeah, just sort of going over it, being really self-critical, like writing it all out and be like,
You send it
what?
to people
How
before?
do I think about training? Nah, I just sort of tested it live and sort of got feedback from the initial people to go into it. Like, because it was pretty much like I was pretty certain about it once I put it out in the end and pretty happy with it. But I probably should have asked for more people's opinions. But at that stage, I'm usually so like just fucking raw from criticizing
Yeah.
my own ideas. I'm like, I don't want to deal with anyone else's criticism on top of
Yeah.
this.
I'm a Virgo. I can self-critique myself harder than anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I got Virgo energy. As well, just for anyone else who's listening, highly recommend getting on Jonathan's like the membership. One, because you
Oh,
get the videos early, but then you also get access to the unedited scrolling
yeah.
IGs and stuff like that. And yeah, just as someone who took the subscription to the next level, it's been worth every penny.
Dude, I know I'm working on a new one. Did you like the commentary? That's what I'm saying. For something like that, I have to be in the right headspace. Like I've filmed those whole things once and then like
Yeah,
I've lost it and I'm just like, fuck. Like I can't, like I'm not gonna be where
lightning
I
in a
was
bottle.
again. Yeah, because it's like it gets better the more delirious I get. You know, if it's late and I'm like like not really in there, like that's when I think it comes together better. So I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. I'm gonna work on some more shit. The next thing I'm gonna do that's kind of like bullshit is I'm gonna post just like some stories about when I worked in West Hollywood because that was a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
Where's where I worked with Rich Piana and like I was
No, because whenever you bring up, yeah, the I think we have you been in the same gym as Hormozy as well? or
Yeah,
around
he
him a
came to
little
my
bit with
yeah,
like
he's my
Brad and like
yeah,
fucking yeah.
Hormozy came to my gym when he came out here just because it was like the gym I opened was the fucking sickest gym around. So he was like, okay, I want to come work out here. So we linked up through there, and then Brad worked for me. We worked together, then he worked for me, and then I worked with Rich Piana worked for me too, but he was an independent trainer. So
That's crazy.
dude,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, so it's fun. Like somehow I've just ended around these pretty big people in the industry, and I've
You would have had run-ins with Greg Plitt back in the day, surely, right?
no, he was my fucking idol. I didn't live
Yeah,
here.
he was the man.
Yeah, he was the only person I
Fuck.
ever watched. Him and Elliot Hulse were the only two people I ever watched, like social media wise, that I like watched. Like I had Greg Plitt quotes all over my fucking house. Like he was the
Yeah.
man. Like I actually got really upset when he died. It fucked me up for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that was gnarly because someone like that just seemed eternal, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That was like the only time I've been affected by someone I don't know, like dying. Like I went to his thing because it was in LA, and they had like a big memorandum thing before the funeral, and yeah, it was fucked up. He was a cool dude, but yeah, appreciate the support, man. Always like seeing you on there, man. If you have any suggestions or thing, throw it out.
I will do, will do.
All right, cool, man. You have a good one. Appreciate the time.